All officers, take their station. This training session is about to open. Before we start here, I just want to let everybody know this is being videotaped. It's right over here, the camera, so when you come through, please, kind of watch the camera right over there. That's right over there. Sergeant Arms, meeting doors of the meeting hall. Sure. Doors are secure. Well. With the color of our country in place, hand salute. 2, uncover. Department Chaplain, offer prayer.
Let us pray. God Almighty, Father, source of all life, healing, caring, forgiveness, and infinite love that surpasses all understanding, acknowledge us and we acknowledge you at this sanctuary training. We thank you for the gift of the American Legion family. Bless and help us to grow with confidence and conviction. We pray for our country and the world in this time of turmoil. We pray for encouragement, solidarity, and enthusiasm to use our gifts that you have given to each officer and our fellow Legionnaires to use for service. Holy Father, give us wisdom to perceive you, intelligence to understand you. Please help us not to be discouraged and overwhelmed by life circumstances. Give us patience, courage, and direction to carry out our commitment for God and country. Amen.
Resolution 288, adopted at the 67th National Convention, calls for designating a POW MIA empty chair at all official meetings of the American Legion as a physical symbol of the 1,000 American POW MIAs still unaccounted for from all the wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. Accordingly, at this time, the Department Sergeant at Arms will place the POW MIA flag on the empty chair as a reminder for us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoners from captivity, the reputation of the remains of those who died bravely, and in defense of liberty, and the full accounting of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to the following endeavor. Please follow me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recover. Please follow along with the preamble of our Constitution. For God and country, we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism, to preserve the memories of incidents or associations of our great wars, to inclinate the sense of individual obligation to community, state, and nation, to combat the atrocity both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit the prosperity, the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to consecrate and sacrifice our comradeship by devotion to mutual helpfulness. As Department Commander, I hereby call this Central Area Training Session of the American Legion Department of Florida regularly convened. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. We've got a very good crowd out here. We do have some dignitaries. For the Sons of the American Legion, R.J. Huff, the 16th District Vice Commander. Detachment Assistant Sergeant at Arms, Bill Fuller. Detachment Sergeant at Arms, Ron Van Wee. There you go. Detachment Chaplain, Randy Collinsworth. Detachment Sergeant at Arms, Doc Bowen. Sorry about that. Ron is the historian. Can't read my own writing, believe that. And our detachment commander, Kirk Miller. We have a lot of chairmen and chairwoman here from all the Legion family members. Please, everybody that's a chairperson, please stand up and be recognized. From the auxiliary, we have the 15th District President, Rosemary Hammond. 16th District President, Dee Bell. American Legion Auxiliary Department's 2nd Vice President, Kelly Beecraft. We have our Auxiliary President, Ms. Erna Schwabe. Somebody's phone is going off. They're buzzing. Past Department Sergeant at Arms, where's he at? Mike Addis. Past Department Chaplain, Bob Vick. Seventh District Vice Commanders, Andy Anderson and David Tucker. 15th District Vice Commander, Bruce Carl. 15th District Commander, Jose Ramu. 16th District Vice Commanders, Randy McNabb and John Bell. 16th District Commander, Tom Z. Is he here? No, I never made it. Central Area Commander, Ms. Eunice Butts. Past Department Commander, Art Schwabe. We have our Department Historian, Shelley Ramu. At the head table here, we have Northern Area Commander, Jerry Brandt. Department Membership Chairman, Little Steve Sugar. Department Sergeant at Arms, Shorty, Bill Hopner. Our Department Chaplain, Steve Newman. Department 3rd Vice Commander, Bob the Mouth Brewster. Department 2nd Vice Commander, Joe the Butcher McGee. Department 1st Vice Commander, Jimmy Toothpick Ramos. Hope I didn't miss anybody.
Central Area Chaplain, Bob Hicks.
Okay.
And District 15 Sergeant at Arms,
Becky Allen. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. My theme this year is full speed ahead for veterans. We need to go full speed ahead for our veterans, their families, and the men and women still in uniform. You know, over 70 years ago, a group of veterans got together and they went full speed ahead for us, the future generations. We need to do the same thing. Over 70 years ago, you got past national commander Harry Comrie and other Legionnaires that got together and wrote the draft of the GI Bill of Rights. The GI Bill of Rights, a lot of us in this room took advantage of, utilized in our lives in one way or another, whether it was a home loan or schooling and so forth, and not only for you, but your family. We need to look for the future veterans and go full speed ahead for them. You know, with this VA scandal we got going on right now, the Department Executive Board at the convention, I appointed an assessment team for the VA hospitals. The government says only 54,000 veterans is affected. Well, that's too many, but you know that's probably 10 times this amount that is affected, 54,000 that they say. Next month in September, I've been going around to all the VA hospitals myself besides the assessment team. And next month in September, I'll be going to the VA hospital in Biloxi, Mississippi. Some people say, well, why go to Biloxi, Mississippi? Well, the 7 counties in the Panhandle, all the veterans there, they utilize that hospital there. And there's more veterans that use that hospital in Biloxi, Mississippi than do in Mississippi or in Alabama. And more of them are in Florida that utilize that hospital. So we're going to be going there, and I touched bases with the Mississippi and the Alabama state commanders, and they're going to be attending with me and asking questions to the hospital directors and everything that hasn't been asked. And we want to make sure it does get asked. My color this year is blue, as you can tell. It's one of the colors that make up Old Glory. We need to show our communities what patriotism is. We need to get back in our communities. Every one of you remember after 9/11. So I don't think anybody here wasn't born after 9/11. Everyone here remembers after 9/11 when flags were popping up all over the place, American flags. You know, I was told, I wasn't around back in when the Pearl Harbor happened, that those flags, it's the same thing happened after attack on Pearl Harbor to our country. Well, we should never need another attack on our homeland to raise our flags again and everything. I challenge each post, each one of you, to put your flag out in your house and tell your neighbors to put your flag out in your house. We need to get back in our communities and be the leaders of our communities once more. Our goal this year for membership is 105%. And Art, no, I won't be jumping out of any aircraft. I won't be bungee jumping either. But I will get a Bravo Zulu tattoo somewhere on my body. And Steve said he will too. And we got the department adjutant, Mike McDaniel, convinced to do the same thing, but he said he has to be 106%. So the goal is achievable and it's realistic. And a lot of your posts are above the power curve in your membership. And in 2 weeks, you'll be getting the Puffle credit to your accounts and everything from National and everything. So keep on doing a good job and everything, and we'll get there. And our goal is to have every district in the state of Florida race to the top honors. I told you when I was running for Sergeant at Arms that I would complete a Sergeant at Arms handbook and have it out to your posts. I did that with the help of other people. I told you when I was running for Vice Commander and Commander that I'll have officer guides for you at your posts. Well, we got that. Everybody has the package that they have. I want to go over what you got right now. You got a post commander's how-to guide. A post finance officer how-to guide. Legion Rider's Manual. You got 2 books on the chaplain, a chaplain's course and a chaplain's handbooks, thanks to our department chaplain, Steve Newman. The Sergeant at Arms Manual. The Judge Advocate Manual, thanks to our department Judge Advocate, Larry Sheets, who couldn't be with us today. You should have a department historian manual, thanks to our department historian, Shelley. Has everybody got one of those? If you didn't at the break, please come up here and see our Sergeant at Arms, and we'll make sure you got that. And also, you should have a little book to put to write in and everything, a blue book there to write in with a pen in the back. These, I already said that. Yeah, I already said the writers. All these how-to guides, we're not going to be training on them, but at the fall conference, every one of them will be trained on in a class at the fall conference. So I challenge all you Legionnaires and Sons of the American Legion Auxiliary, please come on out and join them classes and learn a little bit more on how to do that job a little bit better. And if you have anybody that that's coming up the ranks, please have them come out to the fall conference in November and learn a lot more. It'll be a training class. That's what the fall conference is meant to be, is training. We're going to have trading, and we're going to have a good banquet, I think, on Saturday night and everything. So Friday and most of the day Saturday will be training besides the general session on Saturday. I promise each one of you a commander's pin for coming out today and everything. So I'm going to have them pass it out right now. If you already have a commander's pin, please omit from getting one, so this way I can give it to another Legionnaire or Legion family member. I guess I could talk while they're passing it out, if everybody could listen up. You know, it's been a tradition for over 20 years at the Department of Florida, the Department Commander will hold a retreat or a training class like we did. It started last year with our Commander Archwabi last year. However, due to the addition of the second and the third Vice Commander this year, the Finance Committee decided they didn't have the funding to hold a training class. Well, I talked to the Vice Commanders and the rest of the training team here, and they were very motivated. They felt that they needed the training out there into the district level, the area level, and they're coming out here on their budgets and everything to train you, the Legion family members. So I want to thank all of them. Please come out. You should have two more books, the area training book and the addendum. Put the area training book down. These are the two books that we're going to be training out of. And pick up the addendum book. We're going to talk about that one real quick. In the beginning of the book, just some things in there, my bio. And then we got an agenda for a post-meeting or general meeting. We already went through. I opened up just like a regular meeting, because every function you hold at your post, you should open it up as just like I did here. And you notice it's a Legion event. I introduced the Sons of the American Legion first, the auxiliary second, the Legion last. That's the order it goes in the protocol when you're introducing the guests. If it was an auxiliary event, they would introduce the auxiliary last, and they would do the Sons of the American Legion, the Legion, then the auxiliary. And vice versa, if it was a Sons event, the Sons would be last, so they would introduce the auxiliary, Legion, then the Sons guests and everything. Okay? That's on the introduction of guests. The opening ceremony is the same no matter what post you're at. The closing ceremony is the same no matter what post you're at. If it's not the same, you need to relook at your agenda at your post, and look at the officer's guide and also this agenda here, and see how your post should be, make sure your post is run the right way. Because everybody, no matter what post you go to, it should be the same. In the middle of it, after you do roll call of officers and everything, it could change a little bit according to your post. So after the commander opens up the meeting, what is the first thing if you're going to do a draping of the charter ceremony? Is the draping of the charter. That ceremony would come in there. Or if you're doing a post-everlasting ceremony, it would come right in there. And then the sergeant-at-arms, either the sergeant-at-arms or the commander, however you do it at your post, introduces the guest. And then you ask the adjutant for roll call of officers. And then you determine if there's a quorum. And then you read the minutes. Now, every post may do it different. If it's in your Constitution and bylaws that you read the minutes, you must read the minutes at your meeting. Some posts have in their Constitution and bylaws that they email them out to everybody in the membership because they got a small post. Or they post it up on the bulletin board for a couple of weeks before, right after the meeting, a couple of weeks so everybody could read it. Or hand out copies. So whatever it is in your post, in your Constitution and bylaws, that's the way you need to do it. Then you have officer reports. One report for anything that has to deal with, that has an audit in your Constitution and bylaws, and most likely they deal with money. What is the proper motion for a finance report? Accepted, subject to audit. Okay. If you approve it, you, the membership at your meeting, approve a finance report or anything that should be audited that deals with money, then you relinquished any wrongdoings, possible wrongdoings of anybody with that report. So the proper report is subject to audit. Okay, if you approve it, you can't audit it because the membership at that meeting approved that report. So look at your Constitution and bylaws and see what reports require an audit. Anything to deal with money, finance report, your lounge report. Some posts, the lounge report is combined with their finance report, the kitchen report, and so forth. So, and look at the frequency in your Constitution and bylaws. It may say every month it needs to be audited, every 3 months, but at least once a year it should be audited prior to the change of office. Okay, prior to the change of office of your members. And then you get into the committee reports, and you list every single committee. And as a commander, you want to call your committee chairman prior to the meetings a week or so before, saying, I'm going to be calling on you to make sure, I need a report on Boys State. And when you need them reports, you look at the post administrative manual and you work 3 months ahead of time to get all that information. And you might have committee reports that aren't even Legion committees, but it might be a building committee at your post or something in your community. So all those committee reports are your committee reports at your post. The same thing goes with the Sons of the American Legion, too. I had someone ask me this at a meeting. How do I find out what my unfinished business is? The guy was serious, the person was serious and everything, but you find out what your unfinished business is everything that you didn't complete from your previous meetings. Whether it's your executive board meeting or your general meeting, you add it into your unfinished business. And then your new business, where do you plan your new business? You got your yearly plan and your post. You want to work 3 months ahead of time. Some events, you want to work even a year ahead of time, like Memorial Day, Veterans Day events. You want to have a committee set up ahead of time. You get all your programs. You want to make sure you're working those 3 months ahead of time. Every chairman should be working on it. And, if you're going to do a Oktoberfest, you don't come in the September meeting and say, all right, who wants to be the chairman for the Oktoberfest? You want to work that 3 or 4 months ahead of time. You want to let the word out to your members, the community, and other posts that are in the area, other veterans. Okay, then you go, is there any further, anything good for the good of the Legion, and then any further business to come before this meeting? And the closing ceremony, we'll be doing that at the end of this meeting here, so we'll go ahead and omit that. If you turn the page, you got Legion deadline dates. These deadline dates are all hard and fast. They're all from Carol Polk. Everybody knows Carol Polk, the program queen. She does the programs, and she's in charge of everybody on the programs, and she does an excellent job. Boys State fees, I think it just went up to $350. I seen an email on that, but you should be getting a thing from department on that here coming out soon. But October 1st through December 23rd is when the fees are starting to be collected. So every one of these programs, these are Legion programs. These are hard, fast dates, and you should put them in your agenda when you're working your agenda. And every one of your chairmen should be utilizing this. That's all these dates come right out of the post-administrative manual. Everybody said, what's a post-administrative manual? Does everybody know what I'm talking about when I say that? Okay. If you didn't get a hard copy, you got it on the flash drive. Okay, and if you forgot where that flash drive is, you go to the department website. Everything that was on that flash drive is on the department website. On their forms, is it forms?
It's under membership,
Yeah.
reports, manuals, and resources.
Yeah, we put it under membership because a lot of it dealt with membership. So every single thing that was on that flash drive is under membership section. Okay, if you turn the page there, we'll get on to the next page. Department Legion College. Department Legion College dates are October 9th through the 14th, October 9th to the 12th of 2014. It's going to be held at department headquarters. There is a registration fee of $200 to cover the hotel room and lunch and refreshments, and also snacks in the morning and everything, and refreshments. The reason why there's a fee is because the Department Finance Committee stated that they didn't have the money to do it. So there's a minimal fee of $200, but you got 3.5 days of training. I collected another application today, so we're on our way to holding the training and everything and stuff. Anybody wants to go fill out that application? Then you should have the agenda that's going to be taught. If you turn the page, that one page got in mine, the wrong place. the gift membership application. Pass that one up. You got the agenda for October 9th through the 12th. This is what's going to be taught on each day. Did everybody see that? It's a very intense class. It's almost as strenuous as the National Legion College within a 3.5-day period. You're going to be broken up in groups and given assignments and problems to exercise your knowledge and also to have you find that information on the web. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually utilize actual problems that are in districts in Florida, because maybe the class could help the district commander and the district staffs out to figure out how to come up with some of the problems that they're facing right now. So they'll be in touch with the district commanders and so forth in Florida. Okay, then you got the membership plan here. And who better to talk about the membership plan than our membership chairman, Little Steve Sugar. Hey, you little Stevie, how you doing, huh?
I'm doing fine, Godfather. How are you doing?
All right.
You know, the family's been a little shook up here lately, and I don't know why, but I think it's because the state is starting to react to the membership plan, and I'm hoping that's the case.
All right.
Well, good morning to you. Hey. Wow.
You talking to everybody, huh?
Sure, no problem. Wow, it's a little bit wet from last time. Okay, hey. Well, good morning to everybody. My name is Little Stevie, and I'm your membership chairman for the next year here, and we're going to do the very best we can with my brothers in crime here, you know, with Jimmy Toothpicks, who likes to, what do you like to do?
I like to shoot him.
He likes to shoot him. Okay, well, we don't want any shooting yet. And then we got another brother who's Joey Butcher. And what does Joey do?
I like to butcher them up. I like to chop up them.
He likes to chop them up and cut them up. And then we got Bobby the Mouth. What do you do?
I make them an offer they can't refuse.
Wow, with a team like this, how can we miss? Boys, please sit down. You'll get your opportunity soon.
I don't get to shoot no one?
Not yet, not yet. I got to set the targets up back there, okay? Of course, we have, we have somebody that's always guarding the doors to make sure that, well, Shorty, why do you guard the doors?
It's one way in only. You don't get out. And once you're in, sit down, take a seat, and listen.
Wow, the team's been pulling together, and they're getting so accustomed to this. Everybody's making concessions left and right. These brothers here have had a chance to cut them up and shoot them up and basically give them hell, you know. But hey, we're doing everything we possibly can. Besides all that, I just wanted to raise to everybody here, we're trying to do something outside the box. Please take it with a surge of excitement and fun. I'm a hunky from Western Pennsylvania. I butcher everything that he says in Italian. I can't even get close, okay? We do have a variety of different activities and events that are tied to goals. Okay. And I'll get into that here in a second. Rise and shine with membership. Rise and shine with membership. We are so fortunate in this state to be able to wake up every morning and be able to look out to that sun that the good Lord has provided to us and rejoice by saying, rise and shine with membership. We are welcome to the voyage of the USS Conti. Yes, we are on a 5-year mission. Does this sound familiar? Well, believe it or not, we are on a 5-year mission because the American Legion is now under a 5-year plan. Our 5-year mission is to go where we have gone before, but this time we have to find every single veteran that qualifies to be part of this organization, interest them, teach them, get them involved, and do what we do best, get them to join the American Legion. People want to know what we do. Membership. Membership is the blood of everything. Regardless of what organization you belong to, whether it's church, work, something that you do on the side, even this organization. To be a part of a membership, or what is membership? Well, membership means belonging to an organization, belonging to a group. We all join for reasons, and those reasons are exactly why you're here. You had something that interests you, something that drew you in. So we want you to take that one step farther. There is a formality that we tend to follow. Oh, well, we've elected certain individuals, and they'll go ahead and they'll do their very best to make sure that we have the membership is being recruited and it's being brought up. But those individuals have to rely on the grassroots level, and that's the post. That happens down at the very bottom. It happens at the squadron levels, at the unit levels. It happens at the grassroots level. We have to pull people in. And the people that are in the upper chains or whatever are there to motivate, generate, support those that are trying their very best to bring the people on board. And if it requires us to get down there with them, boy, we get down there right with them. I don't mind having a blast in the grassroots level. We must brand our American Legion. You've heard this before. There's been several reasons for this. We're so accustomed to doing things the old way, or should I say the current way. We're afraid to step back some years, yesteryears, and basically redo those things that were successful. But now it's too hard, or is it an inconvenience? I'm asking you to step back into yesteryears and basically do the things that were done before and were successful, and maybe try to draw people back in, because right now there's so many other things out there, it's causing a lot of conflict. There's not enough time for everything. But if we bring them back to the way things used to be, that their parents did or supported, maybe we might just draw the folks back and teach our youngsters today what they really, why things are the way they are. So we must do three things. Tell them who we are, and what we represent. I'm going to do my best today, very shortly here, to teach you, to express to you, to give you information to make yourself a better Legionnaire member of the family. And the reason for this is we must learn to rebrand ourselves to the people out there that aren't here, up and down the streets, at the ball game, wherever it takes, because we need to let them know who we are, and what we represent. We started out after World War I. The picture that you see there is actually from the caucus that was held on the creation of the American Legion. Who can tell me where it was held at? Paris, France. Okay. Those areas down there on the left-hand side are the 5 areas that they were focused in. And it kind of if you look all 5 and you look at it, it's on your handout that you have on the slides. It basically shows what those 5 areas are, and it focuses in on our 4 pillars. The 4 pillars of self that we'll talk about here briefly. We were created in 1919 after a few meetings that were conducted, and ever since then we have been supporting everything that was created back then with enhancements. So who you are, who you and I are, and what do we represent? In boldness, focus in on those particular areas. We are nonpartisan, not-for-profit organization with great political influence. Our numbers, you always hear everybody from the department, national, everybody, all the commanders talk about membership. We need membership. The more members, people will listen up high. It's true. We have an obligation to community, state, and nation. We have an advocacy for veterans. We speak on behalf of all. Whether they're a part of this organization or not, we represent them all. We have a great opportunity to continue doing this. We stand behind those issues that is most important to our communities, the veterans within the community that have a small voice, but yet they have a large voice, because we have an opportunity of creating what we call resolutions. And resolutions is what basically begins the process to make change. If you don't know what a resolution is, you'll get comfortable with it here in the next few months. Your post officers know where they are. District officers know. The department has it. It's also located in the Constitution and bylaws in the back. It's real simple to write. You just have to sit there, get a few people together, come up with the idea, and create it. And there's a certain way of writing it, and it's simple. And then it goes up through the chopping block process. So you do your very best to make sure that it is written well, so it makes it and clears it. And who knows, your effort that starts on these little tables may actually end up at national getting a stamp of approval, and it changes something that we took for granted or needed to be done. Our success depends entirely on our active participation. We do this because we must volunteer. None of us get paid. The only pay that we get is ensuring that people succeed. And people are excited, motivated, and everybody has as much fun as they possibly can. Our 4 pillars. What I'm asking everybody to do is to learn something about each pillar. Enough to where you become knowledgeable on a item. So if you're talking to Miss Susan or Mr. Joe and you get their interest, hey, you know, we have 4 pillars in the American Legion. The 4 pillars are, well, veterans and rehabilitation. Well, what the heck is veterans and rehabilitation? And you start. Every veteran service organization has a focus on veterans. We're no different. Veterans Affairs and rehabilitation is extremely important to us, and will always be the forefront of what we are. So pick out something in there that basically focuses in, that you're comfortable with, that you can talk about just for a couple of minutes to give them more information. National security is the second pillar. All these items that are listed on here weren't thought up here just recently. They have actually been around for a long time. And sometimes it's scary to see that these things continue to reappear in our national news. Again, pick out something on here that's extremely important to you that you're comfortable talking about and focus in. Your third, Americanism. Everything that we do supports this as well. If you look around the room, we have all kind of items about that basically stand out, that make us remind ourselves of Americanism. You know, flag protection is extremely important. We continue to hear about this, about fighting to prevent people from taking that flag. It's not a rag, and basically destroying it just for the purpose of. So, again, Americanism serves a lot of people that we all serve and support. Fourth pillar is children and youth. Everything that we do, regardless of what it is, from the first pillar to the last, all focuses in on the children and youth because they are the future. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but they must, and we must do our very best to offer everything we can to those out there that are weary, don't understand, and maybe based upon the efforts of everybody in this room and then some, we'll be able to extend to them the ability to grow up, be great citizens, potentially serve in our armed forces and carry the torch forward. It's important. So our 4 pillars that you must always remember is veterans and rehabilitation is pillar 1, national security is 2, Americanism is 3, and the 4th pillar is children and youth. It doesn't take hard. Yeah, you'll stumble on it a few times, but it doesn't take much to not forget once you've got them in your head. So what does membership really mean? Well, when I thought about this, I was out there basically looking for an acronym that would be easy that I could claim, but I couldn't find anything. So I sat down and brainstormed, and I got stuck just about 3/4 of the way through. And I turned to somebody that I knew that liked these types of word games, and I says, Vanessa Rosa Anderson from department headquarters, would you be so kind to help me out? I'm stuck. And she took it and ran with it for a couple weeks and came back with a variety of options. And based upon those options, we were able to complete what you see before you. We both settled on it. And I'm asking everybody here to read it out loud slowly and think about it as you're reading the words because they do make sense. Ready? Enrollment must become everyone's responsibility with stewardship that happens initially through your post with a pledge of member participation. It is so true. Everything that was recited, and you have a copy of this, it's a very true statement. I ask that you use it. Don't just forget about it. Use it for years on down the road. Nobody else has claimed it. But it actually is true. Everything that you stated, everything that's there. We do all of those things. You just have to stop and really think about it. Department commander here is going to basically, if you meet a 75% cutoff by a set date, he's going to go ahead and provide you breakfast. Now, he likes to eat cereal. So I'm just letting you know, that's what you're going to have, and that'll be at the fall conference. We were just talking about the cereal. It's either Fruit Loops or Cheerios. Okay, there you go. And then the other one is Plinko. We're going to be playing that again in the fall conference itself. But I want to focus in on something else. Post commanders and district commanders. Post commanders and district commanders. The post with the highest membership percentage by May 31st next year, and the district with the highest membership percentage by the same date will be awarded a Lazy Boy recliner. But there's a catch. The Lazy Boy recliners will be available for them to sit in during the General Assembly meetings next annual convention, okay, in their particular section. We're going to set them up so they'll sit in those seats for Friday and Saturday. And once then, oh yeah, you know what it is, sitting in those hard seats out there and everything else, how uncomfortable it is. And these guys or gals are going to be sitting in those seats enjoying it in their reclining mode. Once that's completed, the General Assembly's meetings are done, arrangements will be made to make sure that those chairs get to them. And that's for them. So thank you very much for your effort across the board. On the bottom right-hand, on the bottom side itself, you have percentages, and you'll see department as well as Bravo Zulu. We want everyone to focus on Bravo Zulu, because if you meet the Bravo Zulu standard, you've met all the others. And the Bravo Zulu standard has all the activities, mafia-style type awards that kind of go with the goals. And then there's other incentives that also put through that, and it's all on your membership plan. It's all in the book. You have to read it in order to know exactly what you're going after and what's available. And we're encouraging you. We're giving you incentives. We're giving you challenges. That's what it's all about. The BZ ticket voucher is something new just for this year. All I'm asking that every post, when you submit a list of new members, and you have completed certain activities and events, take a look at this form. It's on page 48 of the manual. It's on the website, department website, excuse me. It's listed under membership. Pull that form out, make several, have them available. Check off that are applicable. Fill out the information. Any post officer can sign it. Make sure your membership chairman's aware that you're sending it in, and then off it comes. It'll come to us, and I'll eventually get it, and I'll award the post after verifying, validating what you have done, and we'll give you those additional chances. Mobile membership package. Wow. This is a unique thing. We've never had this before. I'm selling me. I'm trying to market me. I'm your mobile membership package. I will do everything I possibly can to support your activities, events, as long as you give me the opportunity by giving me fair warning. What's going down the pike? What are you doing? Is it inside, outside? I have something that's unique where it's going to also provide the opportunity for people that have never seen you or seen a display booth, an effective first shock and awe, something that they'll always remember. So give me an opportunity to come out and support you. And if I can't be there physically, myself, I'll make sure that materials or people are available to support you. I do have this support from people sitting up here. It's all about making you successful. It's not about us being successful. It's about you being successful. So, again, use the membership mobile tool, the membership mobile package. I can't impress it more than that. Here we go. Area baseball schedule. Every place we've gone, we try to do a baseball game, local area, but Today, here shortly, this afternoon, you got the Yankees at 4:10 p.m. And will the Yankees continue their 5-game losing streak? You know, well, the night before that, the Orioles beat them 5-3. And then last night, when I heard 5-0, I went, ooh. And there, you know, the hotel we're in, I think there's more Yankee fans than there are Ray fans. Go Rays, go Rays, go Rays. But hey, you know, we'll have to find out. But it's all about bringing people out and having some fun. It's Legion Day with the Rays. We're going to have an awareness table down on the main concourse in front of seatings 127. So come out and take a look what we have. It's going to be a basic display. We're out there trying to draw people in. If you talk to folks and they want to know anything about the Legion that you can't tell them, send them on down. I heard that our illustrious third vice commander, Bob the Mouth, will be manning the table, okay, and your marketing, your mobile membership guy will be there to start off with, and then we'll get others to come down and contribute as well. We have the staff members to do it. We want everybody else to enjoy the game and have a great time. Oh, yeah. And if I may, with the permission of the Suns commander and the auxiliary Madam President here, if you have anybody from each organization that would like to come down and stand behind the table, I do have information regarding your programs to be expressed, because every time I put something out, I represent the entire family. If they would like to come down and stand there and provide information, you guys get the credit. It's there. It's not about me. If we had taken anybody in from auxiliary, they were going strictly to the department. For the Suns, they were coming to the detachment. So please, if they have people that are available and want to come out, we encourage it. Thank you. MyLegion.org. Who here uses it? All right, who here doesn't use it? Come on, be honest. Jimmy? Start shooting. Okay, Jimmy. Okay. MyLegion.org is something that every single post, every single squadron has to start getting accustomed to. Okay? Why do I say this? It's now where they want everything to go to. Who here used Alpop? American Legion Portal. Yeah, it's an old name that most of it can't ever go. Post Officers Portal. If you've never used that particular program before, don't worry. Who here used Ames? Ames, okay. Ames is starting to disappear. Some of the programs and activities and stuff that you have on Ames are starting to be migrated into MyLegion.org. And if you continue to pay for it, you need to stop making payments on it, because they're no longer supporting the software. They're only going to provide technical support for a short span of time, and then it's gone. So be aware of it. MyLegion.org is free. You can get it up on the right-hand corner, department website as well as national website. You click on it, and it'll tell you how to process through it. And I suggest that you do it. And why do I say Suns? Because Suns last year started theirs, mysal.org. So I want you guys, you know, they're out there doing the same thing that we're doing, and this is an excellent resource tool that every single one of you need to get involved in and start using. It's free. It's firewall protected. It's secure. I ask that you go out and do it. We're going to be following up to make sure people are, because we need to make sure that you're engaged in this. It's going to help you be successful as well. It's going to help us all out to be successful across the board. And I don't know of anything of this happening. People ask about for the auxiliary. Madam President, I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything, but I have no idea what's going on with the auxiliary, and they keep on asking me, and I haven't really got a response. Must be current status. An active member, you must use your 9-digit ID number to access this, to join it. There's one registration password and username per post. You only get a one-top shield. Normally it's the post commander and adjutant, and other people can gain access if they authorize it. As members, individuals, you can all go on. There's a strictly for that level there, and it's basically shielded, or it's, what's the word I want to use?
The social media type.
Yeah, it's a social media type program where you can get in there, you can do certain things, and it's filtered based upon the levels. Membership plan. Membership plan must have monthly activities that provides challenges, encourages incentives, motivates, provides realistic goals and targets. Your plan, if it's dry, you need to beef it up, make it exciting. Make people want to work for it. Make people want to go for it. Do what you got, whatever you can do. It's not going to be that hard. If you're stuck, man, I'm not creative enough. I don't know what to do. Get on the horn and give me a call. Send me an email. I'll provide you all kind of ideas. If necessary, I'll be down sitting next to you. We'll go through it, get you all pumped up and excited. There are challenges that exist right now. Areas are challenging each other. Districts will soon be doing the same. Posts have already started flinging it back and forth. It's all about making each other work a little harder to be successful. Let's have some fun this year. Let's make it happen. Let's overcome, those pitfalls and those walls, that we seem to get stuck behind. Membership. Let me quickly go through this. Earlier, you heard the department commander talk about 4 months in advance trying to do things, getting folks interested in thinking about stuff. I'm asking you to do a 2-month soul-searching planning out your plan in advance. You always want to go 2 months in advance. Okay, so you should already be thinking about September. September is a wild month for everybody. You'll hear much about that here in a little bit. But September is wild, and besides that, our 60% membership standard is up September 3rd. I don't know what the percentage is going to be, but we're sure as hoping that everybody makes it. Okay, and those that haven't, we're going to work really hard to get them up there. Open houses, we got to make sure that we do it. If we haven't held an open house, don't know how to hold an open house, ask your neighbor. If you're still stuck, then contact department. We'll do everything we possibly can. It's not that hard. You just have to create a plan and follow through. October. Start thinking in advance now about October. You should be working out a variety of different things here. 65% due October 1. All the percentages are starting to kick in. We're asking you to really kick in. And if you're following and you're doing what you can, there's a lot of potential there. There's even a surprise, a bonus that occurs at 63%, September 13th. So, I mean, you got to read this plan to find out what it is that we've got in there to benefit you. While you're doing all these things and preparing for the activity, we keep on promoting this $25 gift membership. It's this year only. It may be held over next year, but right now it's $25. We dropped it from $30 membership fee to $25. We call it a gift membership because, hey, we want folks to bring them on board. Sometimes they don't have the necessary documentation with them right on the spot when they say, I want to join. Fine, you give them the application, they fill it out, they provide you the funds, either a credit card, check, or cash. You mark down the appropriate information, and there's 2 options. Post can opt in to accept the $25 gift membership application, or they can opt out. If they opt in, you use that membership application just like you would any other application. You still require them to provide you documentation to verify their eligibility to join the American Legion. If you opt out, don't want it, provide the information that they list, take the payment, and send it to the department. That's as simple as it can be. You still send your $21 in, and you would retain the $4 from the $25 that you initially received if you opt in, or whatever. And if you gain more, you have more money, then take a vote on to determine which route you want to take. It's all about drawing more members into the American Legion. And for those that join under the other, on the opt-out or straight up, they're not interested in joining a post, they just want to join, fine. They come in, they sit into a pool that's accessible by anybody within the state to go after them and draw them in, potentially bringing them to your post. Renewal applications are sent out by National, July, October, January, March, and May. These are beyond our control at the present time because they're automatically generated. You have to communicate with your members. Your members must communicate back to you. It's important. Why? If we don't, they're going to pay for their dues, whether it's online or at the post, and then they're going to get a reminder from National, and they're going to get upset. Or they're not going to think about it, they're going to stroke a check and send it. Now you have a double payment, and all the paperwork that follows up afterward is, it's just wow. And it causes a slowdown in the process. So communicate to your members and let them know. If they make payment in it, if you get anything in the mail, disregard. Department renewal notices are out there. We use the postcards. You have a blue postcard that was given to you. That's the card that was used last year for 2014. 2015 will come out with something different. Those cards are available through department. They get them from National. Once they do, you can order up the amount of cards that you need for you to go ahead and stamp them, send them to your members as a reminder, kindly reminder, a poke. Websites, Legion Link, all the activities, it's forms of communicating with your members to let them know that they have to renew. And I know a lot of you do it. But sometimes it takes a few other ideas or suggestions because people don't always come to the post. Membership processing periods, the max is 30 days that you should be holding on to it, no more. What happens when you don't process someone's membership in due time? They don't get the card, but what happens if Comrade Dave passes during that 30-day period? And he's already submitted, that's right, he doesn't get the insurance money, and then it comes down against the post, and it gets ugly. Okay, so don't do it. When a membership application comes in, a renewal comes in, process it and get that taken care of. Get it paid for. The money shouldn't be used for anything other than membership, getting the stuff up and tackled. And it's extremely important. It helps out the post. New joins, brand new people that come on board, average for them to be processed through the entire, from department to national, takes 4 to 7 weeks, not days. And the reason for that is they have to hand jam everything in because they're brand new. All of us that have been in for a while have a computer-generated card. It's simplified. Not these folks. So give that time. Think about that time that we're up against. Department 400 and 208 memberships. Those folks we can access throughout the course of the year. It's a matter of contacting the department. The gift membership application we've already discussed, and you should have a copy of it in your handout that has the addendum in it. No, yeah, it's in the addendum. It's also in, oh, gee whiz, what's that one that has the, nope. I don't know, is it in there? I don't think it's in there. It's the one that has the addresses, email address and stuff like that. I think there's a copy of it in there, and in the addendum itself. Department revitalization. We're going to be doing this throughout the state often. We're not waiting for national to come down and select, pick and choose where they want to go. We've already talked to them about this. They're all up for it. And even though they still want to come down, they're not set in any particular time frame, but we're going to go ahead and apply it across the state. So we're already looking at a variety of different locations, and we're studying now to determine those posts that really critically do need the assistance. So what do we do better? What can we do better? Communicate using every possible means available. Snail mail, email, using whatever is available to our ability, sending newsletters out, postcards, whatever it takes. We got to use everything that's out there. Who here has a post website? A district website? You know, you put out the information, anything and everything you possibly can. Communicate with your members, whatever it takes. You know, and you say, gee whiz, they don't really support us, so why should we support them? Because they're members of the American Legion, they belong to your post. Support them. Contact teams, door knocker squads. Who's ever been on a true door knocker squad that actually goes up and knocks on someone's door? Okay, for those individuals that have never done it, 3 people. Wear covers, they're Legion covers. From the post level, if you have an active Sun Squadron, an auxiliary unit, take one of each. Go with them. Everyone has a task. Provide them information from the post. Everybody has a task to look at certain things. You got someone looking to see if the outside, you're doing basically a wellness check while you're asking certain questions to see if there's a reason why they haven't shown up. Or maybe they've fallen on hard times, or they can't do certain things. So go out there as a team together, as a family in unison, and show them. And if you don't have the others, Legionnaires, pull your 3 together and go out there. Have a service officer with you, take the service officer with you. You'd be surprised what's going on and people just don't realize it. When we find out it's a bit too late, does it mean we still can't react? Yes, we can. It's all about membership. Go out there and take care of those that are members. We'll also draw opportunities for us to meet other folks that will become members or could become members. Telephone service center approach, get on them phones and make phone calls. There's lists that you can acquire that you can make phone calls to contact folks. Area commanders just completed a Tiger Team package on Post 400 208s, okay, for 2013. 2012 lists have been frozen by National. They're now starting to pull 2012 names from the list of people that haven't paid, okay, for membership, and they're going to start pulling those numbers or those names to build their list. What we need to do is get out there before them and start making the calls and drawing people in. These are the folks that found the seal in the door, the open door, the creek. They're the ones that kind of disappeared. No one even thought about it. We have to do our best to get them back. So you start making those phone calls. Could be people that transferred in from the other states. We don't know anything about them. It's the same thing. The Stay Alive cards, remember the cards that used to send little slips of paper and so forth? It's all on mylegion.org now. Everything's mylegion.org. You can go in there, you can pull a global pull of all the people in your zip code range and area. You can pull these lists out. You can do the same thing that we're talking about here right now. And you can do it at your leisure and be successful. Membership community awareness tables in front of businesses that authorize you to do that. You don't have to put a lot of stuff out, just a few pamphlets, and have a member of every Legionnaire family there if you can. If not, have whomever. And the only thing that's required of you for an American Legion uniform is what? Cover, the hat. You don't have to be in anything else, but some of us like to wear polos that make us look unison or whatever. And there is a white shirt that folks have used in the past and things like that. Whatever you feel comfortable with, but all you really need is that cover. So make sure that you wear it and you present yourselves appropriately. And the people that are there can tell whomever they're meeting, who they are, and what they represent. If you can do that, you truly will draw people into this organization. So I want you to think outside the box. I want you to draw on all the qualified veterans that we possibly can to join. We've got a large debt against us already from the state. Is it achievable? Hell yeah. Can we do it? If every single one of you and those that aren't here can get on board, we can make this happen easily. We don't need to make it harder, but we can make it a fun opportunity across the board, because in order to work hard, you got to play hard. Playing hard sometimes requires work in a playful mode. So we'll do everything we possibly can to make that happen. I'm open to all types of suggestions. You may have ideas right now that exist that you've been successful with, but you're not sharing. Keeping it with us because it's helping us out. I need to be confident enough to give it to me so I can pass it to others. Because if you're doing something smart, they may call you from the state, outside the state, and say, "What is it that you're actually doing? Wow, we never thought about that." And they'll use it there, and wham, it's going to bring people on board or bring them back. Let's start working together. It's all about making everyone successful. Because if we can bring everybody together and bring them back into the American Legion, this organization is going to climb. We're going to increase. The numbers are going to be there to support folks that need to hear it up and down the chain of command. And it's going to actually strengthen posts and activities. And it's going to bring everybody to a point where everyone's going to be happy and satisfied. Then out to their posts, support their squadrons, and benefit the units across the board for all the activities and events that they support that you and I may not be aware of. My contact information has been provided on a calling card. It's also on your forms. I'll make sure that if you don't have a calling card, see me after. We'll get it to you. Rise and shine with membership. Let's go Rays, let's go Rays, let's go Rays.
Good job, good job.
Hey, thank you, Godfather.
You ever need the three wise guys, they're here for you, okay?
Not a problem,
All
you got
right.
it, okay. Ciao.
How about a hand for Steve there? He did a great job. You know, we're doing a lot of things throughout the state that you're not even aware of. Everybody get the bivouac at their post? Majority you do? In the bivouac, there's a membership application for the American Legion this year. Every single month, we're going to have it in there. We've already received the first 3 weeks last month. I haven't got the numbers for this month. 3 weeks, we have 15 membership going into 208. So it's working. It's working. We're going out there and going out to the ballparks, the different community events that we've done as a team, showing the districts and the areas what to do and how to do it, and not to be afraid to go out there into the community to do it and everything, that it does work. We've been recruiting them. Even if we don't recruit them right there on the spot, the applications that we give them in the brochures, they've been coming back to the department, and we've been recruiting into the American Legion. And this weekend, we had the area commanders. Earlier this week, we had the area commanders and the vice commanders at the department. We did Tiger team training, and what we did was like a mini revitalization on calling those expired members on post 400 and 208. Eunice, how many did you get renewed over the phone? Three? She got 3 within, like a 3 or 4 hour period. But we got like 30 or so just by the vice commanders and the area commanders by calling. And what they're going to do, they're going to take that information that they learned on the calling the bank and take it back to the district levels. And hopefully in the district levels, we could do that same thing by calling, getting that information over the phone, and the credit card information, and getting them renewed back into the American Legion.
Our total call volume for the day and a half was just over 500 phone calls. And it was all using our personal cell phones. And the total amount of people that we were able to draw in, whether they were new or reinstated or whatever, was on an average of about 20 people. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot across the board, since most of the numbers that we were calling were disconnects, or they just never answered. We were leaving messages left and right. So, and I'm slowly starting to get those folks calling back. So we're pretty fortunate.
All right. I know there's some people over there that's their lungs are hurting and they need to go out and smoke. So let's take a 10-minute break there, okay? Thank you. All right. If you open it up to page 2, we'll start with our first Vice Commander, Jim Ramos. Jim?
Thank you, Commander. Okay, on page 2, we have a map of Florida. We have a map with all the districts in Florida. Why do we need this? Post locator. I know, how many Legion Riders are here? Raise your hand. All right. Legion Riders, when they do a poker run, when they do an event, they normally go post to post, correct? And they normally like to go to a post that has riders because they want the program to succeed. And when we go from anywhere, we normally go and we want to be with family. Family is what? The Legion family normally, right? So if you go to floridalegion.org, okay, you're going to come out to a blue page. It says member and guest. You go to the member, click, and it goes into another page, and it has a white page on there, and it starts home, membership, and it goes on down. It says resources. You clicked on resources, and it has a bar that comes down. It says post locator. And believe it or not, the map is a little different than what it is here. It has 3 areas: the southern area, the central area, which is the center of the state of Florida, and then the northern area goes from the Panhandle all the way to Jacksonville and a little bit below. But it has all the posts there. So if you want to go like to Jacksonville, find out what's in Jacksonville, believe it or not, there's about 10 posts real close together in Jacksonville. You hit whichever one you're going closest to, and there you go. So now you have somewhere to bond and nowhere to go. So you're not alone in your travels. And National has the same thing for every state. They have the same thing, find a post. And it's the same way. Legion.org, and you can find that in the post locator there. Okay? Page 3, post administrative. Chain of command. Do we have a chain of command? Yes or no? Yes and no. I like that. It's a yes and no answer there. It's a trick question. We're all equal, correct? But let's start at the post level. When you raise your right hand and take that oath for that year, okay, that is an obligation that you take, that you're going to commit to that duty from post commander all the way down to the chaplain and sergeant at arms, all the way in between, that year you're going to perform your duties. Each of those people have specific duties that they have. Now, the adjutant and commander are the two main people that you have, correct? What is the job of the commander? One, he has no vote, okay? Okay, that's number one, has no vote. But two, everything that fails to happen or everything that happens positive, he'll get the praise, okay? But really, yeah, all the blame, yeah. See, I like to leave that one alone. And that's the job. It comes with the territory. That's your job. But just remember, he's what? He's the figurehead of the post. He represents the post. He's the guy that people are going to point to right there, okay? And that's why we need that information at the department level. District commander. District commander is executive board of the state, of the Department of Florida, okay? And they got requirements. When they take that oath at the convention, they're required to do something, and that's on page 4 right there. By the Constitution and bylaws, Article 5, Section 5. And you notice right there has all these things that they must do. District commander has to go to every post during their year of office twice a year. Now, our Legion year right now, what year is it? 2000 and what? 15. I like that. You see, it's a trick question. When I took that oath, I'm actually got my membership card says 2015. Okay? So the first part from July to December, that's the first 6 months of the 2015 year. Okay? So they have to go at least one time during that first 6 months, and then from January 2015 to June of 2015, they got to go again. All right? And they got procedures and stuff that they have to do. Okay? So they will explain that as they visit each post. The district vice commanders, they have 2. They also, by department bylaws, Article 5, Section 6 tells them exactly what they have to do. All right? And believe it or not, district commanders, I know we have both of them here, or do we have all 3 of them?
Basically, I've got 3.
3, all 3 of them are here. You have 2 vice commanders. If you cannot be at every installation, you cannot be in every post at the same time. That's why you have 2. So if you go in one post to do something and at the same time you have to be in another post, well, guess what? Vice commander, you go over here, I'm gonna be over here. And it might be that situation where you need the other vice commander to go. That's why you have 2. You know, tag team, do what you got to do. That's what they're there for, to assist the district commander in their duties. Area commanders. Area commanders, same thing. By the bylaws, Article 5, Section 4. It has a list that they have to do there. What is the area commander's job? Basically, to make sure that the districts are doing their job, and they also have to visit each post, all right? And they also going to have little check things that they have. Hopefully, you don't get the district commander and area commander at the same place at the same time, but that might happen. But it shouldn't happen. And who is the middle the middle player between the post and department. District commander. District commander is the first line of defense, okay? Why? We're going to get into other subjects later on, but normally when you have a problem, where does the problem should be resolved? At the post level. Great, you guys know it because you are the choir, okay? But we need to relate that to what? The other people in the post, all right? Guess what? There's a lot of times people want to jump straight to national. Well, guess what? When you jump the chain, national does, oh, this belongs to the department commander of Florida. And he gets a letter, the department adjutant gets a letter, and there you go. And what does he does? He goes to every commander goes to the district commander goes to the post commander. So if you think you're jumping, guess what? All you're doing is making it worse for yourself. So the first line of defense is the district commander. They are there not to solve your problems, but hopefully to get a medium, a working relationship so you could come to your own decision at the post level, okay? And we go into department officers, and who better than our department commander to talk about that? Here you go, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. You know, I want to thank everybody for eating with their covers on. I got $10 here to my charity of choice this year, which is Susan G. Komen, breast cancer awareness, and is in the addendum there. There's a letter in there about it. We got cans here that's going to be distributed later on during lunchtime for donations and everything. So keep eating what you had on. I appreciate it. The department officers, like Paul Martell said last year, they're show people. You know, they're to show people if you want something going on in your post, you got something going on, you want to show off your post to the dignitaries in the area, call on the department if you want anybody to come and visit it. I'll be happy to visit if I'm not somewhere else in the state, or one of the vice commanders or so forth could come out there in my place. But if you having something going on in your post, you want to show off your post to your community. That's how you get your membership in there and everything. And so that's how you tell the community. Everybody wants to be a part of something good. So you want to show off your posts. The department offices include department commander, the 3 vice commanders, the NEC, the NECA, department adjutant, the assistant department adjutant, the judge advocate and assistant department judge advocate, department chaplain, historian, sergeant at arms, and department membership chairman, because the department membership chairman is wearing a white hat. And in our constitution and bylaws, the department membership chairman is an officer due to wearing a white hat, because you, when we made our department constitution and bylaws, made him a department officer. And in department headquarters, who had the pleasure of working with department headquarters like Irene or Carol Polk and stuff? What a great job they do over there, and they do it all for you here at the post level. If you ever want to know anything about membership, you call Irene. She's the queen of membership. And programs, Carol Polk. She knows every program, and she was talking to me yesterday before the state of Florida baseball game with the Legion College. The Legion World Series was being played and everything on a couple of issues that came up. But she knows American Legion baseball inside and out. And she don't know nothing about baseball. You know, but she knows that program, let me tell you. National headquarters. Who has communicated with national headquarters? Okay. And there's a reason why she's communicated with national headquarters to do her job as a historian and the 100th anniversary. But with national headquarters, they're there to support the departments and anything we need, brochures, membership applications, and when we communicate with them. But we communicate in department, we communicate with everybody here through the Legion link and emails through to the district and area commanders. Hopefully they're sending them down to the post levels and everything, and making sure you don't stop at you as the commander or an officer of your post. Make sure you filter out the information to your rest of your post and the Legion family. And the national headquarters, how they communicate too is through emails, but mostly the dispatch newsletter. The dispatch newsletter is also on electronic means on National's website. You could sign up for it, or at your post, there's 2 people that get it mailed to them every single month. The commander and the adjutant, and hopefully after they get finished reading it, they're posting it on your board, so this way you guys could read it at your post. Okay, so if you haven't seen it at your post, ask them about it and make sure you get it up on your bulletin board and be one of the required reading materials at your post. Again, post officer responsibilities. Bob the Mouth, come on up here, bro.
Good morning. You sure you're awake? Let's try it again. Good morning. Now we got it. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the support I received at the convention for this position. I said down there, wow, I'd give you 100%. I don't come up with this 110% because I don't think there is such a thing. And I also said that I'll work twice as hard for all those who didn't support me so they'll realize I was the right choice. Post officer responsibility. 11 years ago, I heard a past department commander say this at a training program for post commanders, my first one I attended. And it stuck with me, and I'll always remember it. Commanders, you were elected. You were not anointed. Big difference. Keep that in mind. Stay humble. Talk to everybody. Work with everybody. And this isn't part of this, but we all have made this mistake, and I know I made it a few times before I wised up. You'll be in a kitchen, you'll be doing a program, you'll be doing something, and you got your team going, and everything's going real smooth, and you really got it down to it's clockwork. And somebody says, hey man, you need some help? And you say, well, we're okay here now. Wrong answer. Bring that person in and find something for them to do, because if you don't, they'll never volunteer again. And you know, I hear this all over, and we all say it, 4 or 5% of our members do all the work. It's because we don't let other people get involved. Keep that in mind. As post commander also, you'll be appointing some chairmen. You all have done this. Now this comes from my business background. Do not be afraid to appoint somebody who knows more than you do. Maybe you don't like them, doesn't matter. That person can do the job. Get them into that job. And you find out from your members at meetings, there are things that they'd like to do, a program that you don't have. So 3 years ago, we had a guy come into our post meeting, and he wanted to speak to the members, and I said, sure. And that go to the order, I gave him up there, and he went on real big about Special Olympics. His grandson was involved up in Savannah, Georgia, and he was really, 15, 20 minutes, he was fired. He sat down, and I made a motion right then. And I didn't make a motion. I said, I'm making an appointment here, not a motion. Don't make motions up here. I said, he is our new chairman of that program. We didn't have it, but we do now. And this is how you get them going. I heard something the other day that supposed to start a car club for members. That's a good thing. A lot of people have hot rods and customs. We had the motorcycles. Why not the cars? All right, I'm getting off, and I don't want to get too far here, because that'll be on me about it. So again, get every member you can involved, and not just your buddies. Is your post have insurance? Lord, please don't even tell me your post doesn't have insurance. That's protection of your members, your post property, everything else. You must have insurance. Somebody sue you. It doesn't happen all the time, but I've heard more people suing now than I have in the last 10 years. So make sure you have insurance. Is your post incorporated? Lord, my first 2 posts I went to 2 different posts, and I became commander of both of them, defaults or whatever. Neither one of them had incorporated. Neither one had insurance. One of them had a liquor license on the wall and selling liquor with no insurance. Yeah. And then after about my 2nd month in office, I received a letter from the IRS. I owe them $8,000. I was upset. Not as upset as I was the next day when I got 3 more letters from the IRS. Now it was $19,000. And this will happen. And I went to the second post I just took over recently because they were turning their charter in. And guess what? No insurance, no incorporation, didn't file their taxes, and here we went again. I'll bet you one thing. If I do leave this post, I go to another post, I will never be any kind of officer whatsoever. You can take that to the bank. They will sign a statement and have it notarized. I cannot be involved. Make sure your post officers are bonded. Here's one thing that's a pet peeve of mine. All our posts, we have too much cash floating around different things, different programs. And we need to keep a little better control of it, and we got to make sure these people are bonded. This is the way it should be. And I already touched on post taxes. Make sure you file them, because I'm not coming in to straighten it out. Does your post in at least one program a year? You got to be in programs. If you can't, you can't have enough programs for your members, because there's so many people who have different ideas, different things they like to do. We got to keep them involved. You keep your members in programs, and they'll renew. You know, we keep bringing in 50, 100 new members this year, and 50, 100 go out the back door because they lost interest. Can't do that. Are your post bylaws up to date? They should be done. It used to be 4 years. Now they're saying do it every 3 years. If your posts aren't going to make any changes, your posts you're happy with them, send them in. Let them go over them again and put them back in as a new bylaws. You don't have to change them. If you got changes, Larry Sheets will definitely find them. Does your post membership receive a finance report on a monthly basis? I've been to posts. The finance officer gets up and reads a report, and there is no written copy. You got to be kidding me. You've got to have this information for your members. There's too much suspicion out there. If you start hiding things, all heck's going to break loose. I also recommend that you post it. I don't say you should post every check number, every account number, but you can post a vanilla finance report on your wall so all members can see where the money has gone, where it came in, and where it's going out. That's about all I can say on that one. Are there any questions on this? They call me the mouth because I get done quick.
Yeah, right. Joe?
Good morning.
Morning.
All righty, before I get started with the book, I have a little presentation on the Commander's Breast Cancer Awareness pink shirt. I'm sure everybody has heard about it by now, I hope. Or has anybody not heard about it by now? Okay, the pink shirt. It's embroidered on the left side, the Legion logo, Department of Florida, and underneath that, Breast Cancer Awareness. $25. If you would like it embellished on the right-hand side with your name, post, or whatever, title, it's an additional $5. Oversized, 2X, 3X, 4X, whatever, go up in increments of $1 a shirt. Comes in men's and ladies. For you smokers, it does not come with a pocket. Sorry. For you ladies, I will caution, as in the screen print business, lady shirts are historically always cut a little small. I do have samples here that you can try on if you'd like to at lunchtime, if anyone's interested. Sales have been pretty decent. They've been pretty good. In fact, there's a busload coming over from Palm Bay to the game tonight, and about half of them on the bus ordered shirts specifically for the game, and it was a rush job, but we managed to get them done, and they're going to be wearing their shirts at the game like all of us are going to be wearing our shirts at the game. If anybody's interested, if you'd like to order them, there is an order form in the back of your addendum which you received this morning. So if you would like to, if you'd like to fill it out and give it to me later on today, obviously we'd be more than happy to have it. The proceeds from this shirt, the profit from this shirt, does not go to the Department of Florida. It does not go to the vendor. It goes directly to Cancer Awareness. Cancer Awareness is the only winner in this shirt, nobody else. So I would please ask you to support this endeavor. Thank you. And now on,
Real men wear pink.
and yeah, well, I usually finish that with, since I'm Irish and, you know, I have no problem wearing a kilt, I don't see why Legionnaires should be squeamish about wearing pink, since real men can wear pink, you know. So if we would turn to page 10, and this is kind of a real quickie here. That one paragraph on the adjutant is really summed up in the first line and the fourth line, where it states he's the first sergeant and the commander's right-hand man. I think we all know that, and that spells it out in a nutshell. Then if you go to page 11, the explanation there, he boils down to he's the administrator of the post. His endeavors include be as the chief administrator to aid all the post officers, not only the commander, in what he does there. He's usually the first line of sight with anyone who does come in to possibly join or hopefully join the post and become possibly the tour guide to give them the first tour of the post. The agenda for the meeting, generally he will be the one who will compose the agenda, but at times it won't be only the agenda for the post meeting, it's going to be an agenda for any type of event that may be being performed at the post, or it may be an endeavor that's going on outside of the post. So as the administrator of the post, his duties could be varied, they could be wide and varied, not related solely to the post, but to endeavors outside of the post also. Now, if you move on down to CPRs, you know, as most of you know, it's a three-part form. 2 parts go to the department, 1 part you keep at the post. The last line there on page 11, if you would please change that May 15th to May 17th.
May 7th.
Oh, I'm sorry, May 7th, not 17th. God. I'm looking at a 7 here myself. So, probably on page 12, the most important thing on page 12 is the first line there. If you do not get your CPR into department, what happens? You cannot vote. So, of everything that's written on page 12, that is probably the most important thing. And what is the CPR? It's a snapshot of your post. It's a snapshot of what you've done for the year. But please, don't just include what you've done as far as the American Legion's concerned. It should be a snapshot for what you've done as a family. Include what the auxiliary has done. Include what the Sons of the American Legion's done. Include what the Riders have done. Make it a complete snapshot. And I thank you very much for listening to me.
I just want to add a little bit on the breast cancer awareness. The reason why I picked the breast cancer awareness this year, every female in my family had received breast cancer at one point or another. 3 years ago, I lost another one of my sisters due to breast cancer and everything. And I know it touches just about everybody's life here, too, in one way or another. I felt that breast cancer awareness would have touched everybody. That's why I picked breast cancer awareness. And yeah, and a lot of men get it too. Men in my family had got it. I was talking to a fellow Legionnaire at Dunedin Post 275 last week, and he's a breast cancer survivor. He told me and everything, and so a lot of men get it too. So that's the reason why I picked it and everything. I appreciate the support on it. Thank you.
Okay, First Vice Commander. As you know, this year, the Department of Florida, first time in history, has 3 vices, okay? And at the post level, normally there's 2, but depending on the size of the post, you might have, I have seen up to 7 in one post, vice commanders, okay? And they all have a different duty, all right? I'm first vice commander of the Department of Florida. What is my job? There you go, membership. And it doesn't stop because at the post level, first vice is membership, okay? If at the post level, if you have a team, will be Steve, the membership chair, I'm helping Steve, and he's helping me, and I'm, helping everybody at the department level. Same thing at your post. You should have a team, all right? And that's normally the job of the first vice. Second vice is the ones that entertain, that does everything fun for the post, gets the whoever you want to talk and stuff to come in to the post. Of course, they have to do what? Coordinate with the adjutant and the commander. This is what we're going to do, all right? The second vice for the Department of Florida is training. That's their job. And you should always have somebody in your post that will train. Training is what? Mentoring. Mentoring. You get that new Legionnaire into your post, somebody should be there at the door, welcome that Legionnaire in, okay? Let them know what's going on and always be there with that individual to let them know what's going on. Have a newsletter ready for that person. There you go. This is what we do. This is what we have done or what's coming up. So that way you got it. And other posts that have 3, 4, and continue all the way down to 7, every vice commander has a different title and a different things that you have to do. One of those is might be maintenance. They're in charge of the maintenance in the building. Another one might be the lounge manager. Another one might be the kitchen manager. So depending on how far you go down the list with vice commanders, they all have a specific duty. Now, what is the job of the first commander in the absence of the commander? There you go. I take over the duties of commander. So far, he didn't tell me that. What he told me is I can't be at this place because I'm up here. So when he's not available to go somewhere, he's going to be in Biloxi on the 11th. Well, I'm going to be in the 9th district area doing a Patriots Day celebration down there, which is very good. So I'm taking his place being down there. I'm representing him at the department. All right, good. Finance officer, I think the mouth said it all, okay? And with finances, and the commander said it all too. When you're dealing with money, is approved subject to audit. That's the only way money gets handled. So that way, it doesn't matter if it's the same commander is going to come in next year for your post. It should be an audit at least once a year to make sure that we had money when we started off, we spent all the money in doing this, and we still got money to continue. Good? All right. Now the Shorty's going to take over.
Morning, Legionnaires. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for giving me the opportunity to serve as your department sergeant at arms. I'm very humbled to hold this position, and I hope I lived up to your expectations of everyone here. Thank you very much. What I'm going to talk about is a service officer. This is a very quick snapshot of what a service officer does. He aids and assists in filling out disability claims. The reason why I say disability is because there's all kinds of claims, but most of your claims are disabilities, say 8 out of 10. And there's 5 steps to filling out a claim. The first one, you have to have evidence that you have a current disability, either physical or mental, okay? The second one is evidence of an injury or disease that is service-related, okay? The third part is that you take the disability that you have now and the one that is also part of your medical disability and see if there's any coincidence. Step 3, you take both of them and you put them together and you get all your medical documentations, may it be from the military, your civilian doctors, any statements from doctors, friends, relatives, so forth and so on. Then what you do is you take it to your service officer. The service officer fills out the paperwork. It's important that you keep in contact with the service officer because he or she might have questions or need additional documentation. Once they get all the paperwork filled out, they send it to the VA. The VA gets it, either they review it, and they make their decision. How many service officers do we have here? Very good. Somebody asked me, how do you become a service officer? Well, what you can do is you read the little blip on in the post officer's manual under Section 1, Service Officer. The state of Florida has 2 sessions where you can be certified as a service officer. That's at midwinter and also at the annual convention. Also, those of you that do not have service officers in your post, it would be a good idea to go to your fellow post, sister post, and see if they have officers there that can help you. If you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can get online and put in VA service officers, and what happens is a little block will drop down. It'll say what state you're in. You put your state in there, and then it'll say what county you're in. Okay, Dade County. I put Dade County in there, and what it will do, it will list all your county officers under that county. The counties start from A to Z. So if that's your prerogative, or if that's your preference, you can do it that way. That's about it for me.
Go to Sergeant at Arms.
Go to Sergeant at Arms. Damn, I never get a break, huh? Okay, my next part is Sergeant at Arms. We do have a couple of individuals in here that are past Department Sergeant at Arms. I'm just going to touch on it because there's so many things that the Sergeant at Arms does. He's the individual that is the custodian of the colors. He makes sure that the colors are set up at meetings. What you don't see, what the Sergeant at Arms does, is behind the scene. Before a meeting, he sets up all the tables. He makes sure that the stage is set up, chairs and that. And as people come through the door, he checks their cards. If you have a large group like this, the Sergeant at Arms could ask for help for Assistant Sergeant at Arms. If you are a Sergeant at Arms and you need help, please ask for it. You can't set up everything and stand at the door and check cards. One of the things that the Sergeant at Arms does when he checks cards, he looks for new members. If there's a new member that comes to the post, what he does, he notifies the commander. And when they go through membership, the individual stands up and he's recognized by his fellow peers. That's basically it. And you also have a Sergeant at Arms manual that you can go through to get all the tidbits that you need. Okay? All right.
The chaplain is going by the yellow book. What page?
Page 6. Before I get started, I do want to say one thing. We do have a past department chaplain, and one heck of a good one. And he's been a good friend of mine and my mentor, Chaplain Bob Vick. He's a wonderful man. I go around the state and I get asked, well, what do I look forward to getting somebody to be a chaplain, and what's he need or she needs to do and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go into a little bit of detail on that. The purpose of a chaplain is help people grow in their relationship with God and one another. And the other important thing that you need to look at, the individual has to be a believer. Has to be a believer. Must develop an environment within which legionnaires are encouraged in their personal and collective moral and spiritual growth. They're the spiritual leaders. Seek to minister to people whenever there is a need. Can't be selected in what they're doing. Be alert to the physical and spiritual needs of his or her comrades. And here's an important one. Be notified when there is death, illness, or special concern in the membership. I'm pretty sure there's posts out here who got last-minute notifications of someone that is sick or has passed on and never get notified of that. So you have to kind of work with that, and the chaplain gets involved in that to try to make sure that we have timely notifications. To have open lines of communication with local clergy, hospital, school officials, funeral directors, and other community organizations, so they will be informed of what services and programs the post can and will provide. The other thing is that the chaplain has to coordinate with the post historian or a graves registration individual on markings of graves. For example, we know that the national cemeteries on Memorial Day are taken care of with flags, but there are a lot of cemeteries in the state of Florida that veterans are buried in that are not national cemeteries. And we need to try to, if we can, at all possible, go ahead and try to get flags, their grave markings there. So kind of work with the local cemeteries. He or she is the one that has a calming effect and brings harmony to people and organization. The chaplain does not have to be a clergyman or an ordained minister. Anybody can serve who is willing to serve. Persons serving in the office should demonstrate a sense of spiritual maturity and be committed to the chaplaincy, and here, very important, a person of integrity. You don't want anybody in there that you can't trust. That's not going to work. Have a positive attitude toward himself or herself, spiritual matters, the unit served, and the American Legion family. Willing to serve where there is a need. Can't be selective in their service, for they have a responsibility to all. That's to everybody. Neither can they just serve because it is convenient. They should provide support as needed. One thing I want to mention about that, if you have an individual that comes up and requests something from the chaplain and it goes against the chaplain's belief, the chaplain can say no, but in the long run can say, I'll find out somebody that can help you in that matter. So you just don't say no and that's the end of it. You try to help the individual finding somebody else that would do that. And here's one of the biggest things, have the ability to keep things confidential. How many times you have it where somebody says something very important or close, and all of a sudden it's all around the bar or all around the post and all this stuff. They have to be able to keep confidential information, except for one acceptance. And that's when an individual comes to the chaplain or comes to somebody and says, I'm going to kill myself, or I'm going to kill somebody else, or I'm going to do damage to somebody, then you have to bring it to the authorities. You can't just let that go. Because I've had it happen to me where individuals did things and they meant what they said. So the chaplain, if it gets something like that, has to bring it to the post commander, or if it's immediate, call 911. So that's all I want to say on that one. Should never be political while serving as a chaplain. However, I do want to say one thing in that arena. I thank you for your support for allowing me to be your chaplain for this upcoming year. Thank you very much. Should not be appointed against his or her will. Should not accept the position just to hold an office. Should not be elected or appointed just to fill a spot in the roster. Hey, John, oh, I see you. You're my next chaplain. You know, and we have that, where people do that. Commanders do that because they want to fill the spot. The chaplain should seek to be a model in matters related to the ethical and moral. Should be groomed, cleaned, and dressed appropriately. Look like a chaplain, act like a chaplain, and be a chaplain. Chaplains teach no other lesson but that of courtesy. The chaplain must never forget that he or she is the one that serves everybody. Not everybody is serving the chaplain. A chaplain also has to be a good listener. Not always talking, but being a good listener to folks out there. And must be able to interact with other people. You must to serve, minister where there is a need, serve as the spiritual advisor for all members of the post, everybody. And the other thing on that, when you're talking about that, can't be selective in who they're serving. They have to serve everybody. And there's two occasions that I would like to talk just a second about, is what the chaplains perform. There's two things out there called the four chaplain ceremony and the post-everlasting ceremony. And I'm pretty sure everybody here does that, or somebody doesn't do that. I will be giving a class in November at the convention, or the fall conference, on them two issues, the four chaplains and the other one, the post-everlasting. And with that, that's all I need to say today, and I thank you for listening.
Okay, page 18, historian. And if you don't know her by now, Sherry Marmero, please stand up and let everybody see you. She's our historian. And you did get a historian book. Please keep that handy. If you want to know more, she will be conducting a class for the fall conference on history. But my job is to talk about history, okay? We made some money today before I came and give this, okay? The uniform of the American Legion is what? The cap, okay? And that's what's in the book, the cap, okay? Now, let's talk about the cap. When we salute the flag, we have it on, correct? The commander says, all legionnaires uncover. Guess what? There's one set of legionnaires that will not uncover, and that's the females, okay? All right? So they have the option of taking it off or leaving it on, okay? And that goes back to Field Manual 22-5. That's drill and ceremony, okay? And that's where they take that from. And that's actually in your officer's guide, okay? Page 40, section 7 and 8, okay? If you want to see a copy, I got it right there in my iPad, all right? And it says, very, very plain, female legionnaires have the option to leave it on during prayer and also eating, okay? Prayer, also eating. Good? See how that works? So they're good to go. Now, we take it off. When we take it off, the emblem side is facing forward, 4 fingers inside, 1 thumb in the back over the heart, correct? All right? And that's how we do our tribute for God and for country when we say the Pledge of Allegiance. Good? All right? Now, on the other side, okay, you could put any pins you want, but I have 2 rules, and there's 2 rules in the book. It'll be military and Legion in good taste. Notice what it says. Legion, military, in good taste. Okay, on that side. So any pins you want to wear in there, good to go. All right? Now, we're going to turn it over to the emblem side. Okay? Notice on mine is nothing there. Okay? This is called hollow ground. All right? The only thing that can be put on there, the only thing that can be put on there has to be given to you by a national chaplain. Has to be given to you by a national chaplain, and that is a cross. The national chaplain will take off your cover, your cap, and we'll put it on there, and we'll put it back on your head. Okay? The only time. That's the only thing that goes on there. Hollow ground. Okay? So if you have that honor, I'm still trying to get a national chaplain to give me one. Okay? I haven't got it yet. I run them down. They say they only get 10 a year, so that, they give them out throughout the year, but there's only 10 that they give out. talking about hollow ground. You notice our colors are behind us, okay? All right, there should be nothing going in between there during meetings. All right, so if they were up here, we cannot give you anything through there, because who's lying here? Our comrades that passed away. Okay, so we make sure during meetings we do not cross hollow ground. Good? Now, in 1919, Steve's already said we started, correct? Now, what's going to happen in 2019? Centennial. I'm going to be 100 years old. I look pretty good for 100, don't I? All right. Now, you will get this book at the fall conference, or when Sherry goes out and does her training, Shelley will give these out. Plus, if you don't have it, she'll give you her book too, and she'll talk about it and give that class. All right? The 5-year plan, okay? Very simple. How many, I know a lot of posts here are already at national website on the Centennial page, correct? Let me see a show of hands who's not. Okay, I saw some heads shaking. Who's not? Just, there you go. All right, if you're not, don't worry. She's right here. She could get you on board. That's right. Yeah. Okay? She'll get you on board. All right? Now, what do you need? You need information, current information. Maybe you want to throw in there a picture of your post, when the post was started, and you keep going until 2019. Now, we heard it before. What is the big deal? Well, that's 100 years. Plus, we want to go over 3.2 million. Okay? To me, we should be going over about 20 million. That's the way I look at it, a membership. We've got 26 million veterans out there in the country. We should have a big tap of that. Here in Florida, we got the new is 1.6. I don't know why we don't have 600,000 in our ranks. Okay? But that's just me. And I hope you feel that way too. Historian is the keeper of the history of your posts. All right? People want to know, when did it start? How long did it take you to get a building? How long did it take you to grow? What I want you to think about is, where's your membership now? Where's it going to be in 2019? Okay? I'm not going to steal Jay's thunder because he's going to tell you something later on. But we want to grow. That's our whole opportunity. And what do we do more than anything? Help our veterans. And I believe in that. Okay? Judge Advocate. We have the Assistant Judge Advocate here, Mike Addis. Stand up, Mike. Let them know who you are, just in case they don't know who you are. Yeah. Our Judge Advocate is Larry Sheets for this year. And when he talks about Judge Advocate, he says, you don't want a lawyer. And that's true. You want someone who knows your Constitution and bylaws. That's what you want to know, right there. The Judge Advocate at the post is the right-hand man of the commander. When something comes up legally, he should be Judge Advocate, or what can we do? What is your guidance? And that's all the Judge Advocate is going to know. He's going to say, by the Constitution, bylaws, and our posts, blah, blah, blah. There you go. And he's there to assist the commander in the legal issues and making sure. Also, you have a Judge Advocate guide, that little book in there, which is in trials, and how to do appeals, and how to rule on a trial. That was made by Larry Sheets, and that's a real good book. Every Judge Advocate should have that readily available. And it's also in the officer's guide, and it is also in the phone book when it comes out from the department, is in the back. Okay, we're going with post administration on page 19. Executive committee. Who makes up the executive committee? Officers, okay, and depending on the size of the post, you want 1 or 2 non-officers in there, okay? So that way, they know what's going in there. They should be interested in the post activities. They should be interested in what goes on the post and how to help the post succeed. Succeed. That is their job. Okay? Standing committee. What is a standing committee? Standing committees is programs. They're a committee of programs. Depending on how big the post, you might have 2 or 3, you might have 5 or 6. And each one has maybe 5 or 6 programs that they control, that they know. Now, their job is to make sure that that individual who does school medals is on the ball. Who does Boy State is on the ball. Okay? The commander already told you, October, you got to start sending in your money for Boy State. In December 23rd, it quits. Okay? Starting in January, you could already start going to the schools and start interviewing your boys. Who chooses the boys to go to Boy State? The school or the chairman? There you go. Once they get interviewed by the post and everything, they'll come up with who's there. All right? So that's the standing committee. That's their job, making sure everything is run right. And if it's not done right, my thing is if you have a chairman for Boy State, you should have an assistant chairman. So that way, if something happens to that chairman, you already got somebody there who's willing to take over and continue with that program. All right? House committee. Where does the House committee come in charge? There you go, the lounge. Now, if you look at our Constitution and bylaws, what does it say about lounge? Nothing. Nothing. The Legion, this is the Legion right here. We are doing the work of the Legion right here. The lounge is a separate entity, okay? You have to have a lounge committee, okay? Depending on how it works, how your post works, you should have whoever's managing the lounge should be separate. Whatever board members they have in the lounge committee should be separate. And it should never cross the path from the lounge to the Legion. There is certain things that will happen at the lounge that sometimes will have to come and visit the Legion side of the house. And that's under the J8, okay? But normally, you cannot curse in the lounge, correct? Those of you who have lounge, no fighting, okay? You have to be courteous, okay? So there's rules that you have to follow in the lounge. Good? If there's a problem in the lounge, handled by the House committee, they could tell that individual, whoever it is, because remember, we're a family, so anyone could be involved in there, and they would say, okay, this is going to be your technical fine. You can't come to the lounge for 30 days. Okay? Now, the lounge is behind those doors over there, correct? If there's an activity here for the Legion family, they could still come here, but they're not authorized to go through those double doors to the lounge. See how that works? So they still can participate in Legion, Auxiliary, and Sons matters. But with the lounge, they have no entity in there. Yeah. And yeah, like the commander said, if there's alcohol here, they're not allowed to fulfill and take a place of that. Okay? The last thing, constitutional bylaws. Okay? Constitutional bylaws every 3 years. You should be, that's the mouth? Okay. Yeah. Come on, mouth. I don't want to do your job. Bob Bruce is taking over.
And as soon as the post gets the lunch ready, we'll go ahead and break for lunch and everything, okay? We're just waiting on them. We'll continue on pressing forward.
Well, we kind of talked about the bylaws a little while ago. They should be revisited every 3 years. I think everybody's doing that now, and I hope that's what's going on. Whatever happens to your post, you don't run to the department, you don't run to national, you don't run to anybody. You look at your bylaws first, and that's how you run your post, and that's how everything should be taken care of. Let's see what else we got here. We pretty well got it. Yeah, that's it.
No.
I don't have the
Resolutions.
I don't really. You want me to do those today? That's new. Okay. Creating resolutions and amendments. If you want to change something at national, whatever, I'm just using that, it all starts at post level. Nothing starts at the top and comes down. It starts at the bottom and goes up. And that's very important. And there's a lot of things I know that every year there's resolutions are written and they go to the department and we look at them and so forth. And you get a chance to vote on them whether we should pursue it or not. If they do vote on it, then it goes to national, then they do their voting up there. Let's see what else is in here. Yeah.
For a resolution, do they just write it on a piece of paper? Do they have
No.
a special form?
Come on. Put it on the bathroom wall. He's picking on me. Okay. They got to be signed by both your commander and your adjutant and go up the line. And they also should be looked at by district level. Just get everything I can out there so we don't make up something silly. Caught me off guard here. Go with the elections too? Yeah. Elections, that's always an interesting point. Let's talk about elections at post level. Let's see now. I'm going to nominate Billy Bobby because he bought me a beer last week. And Billy Bobby, a good commander. You know, he's in here 5-6 days a week. A couple times I see him sleeping on the floor. Let's make him the commander. Come on, let's start using our heads here. We got to have people who are trained and want to do the job. Post commander, sure, he doesn't have a whole lot to say as far as voting, but he can lead and get the quality people into positions to make that post better. Too many of our problems at posts are because, oh, gee, Bill got a bigger glass of scotch than I did, and things like this. It's silly. You know, we're adults. We shouldn't be acting, we should be able to play in the same sandbox all day long, okay? What was this? You know, bigger sandbox, yeah, we'll divide the sandbox. But it's amazing how many little things happen. I've talked to so many members who had dropped out of posts for one reason or another, and it's usually some little silly thing. Well, Susie likes me, likes Frank better than he likes me, and she gets better service. Susie retired 10 years ago, guy. Come on back. You know, we got to just cut out the childish things. It's very important. But again, your bylaws will tell you how your election should be run, how you do it. My first post, I liked the way they did it. We went through the process and got our election people up there ready to be voted on, and we ran the elections instead of at the meeting night. We ran it all day Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's a lot of people still work on Saturdays. A lot of people work during the week. This gave everybody a chance to I couldn't get to the post and vote. And that kind of eliminated that problem. Installation of officers. You like that? Second vice. Oh, gee whiz, I was having fun already. All right.
Hi again. Installation of officers. Well, we all know that district commander or his direct representative will perform installation. We also hopefully know that the adjutant should verify the incoming officers DD 214. And something I believe that we should really look at it and with an installation, use it as a membership tool, as a showcase, because we never know how many guests we may have sitting out there. And the more impressive your installation is, possibly the more new members you may garnish with some guests sitting out there, and they're impressed with the performance of the officers, they're impressed with the performance of the district officers, and it clicks to say, hey, gee, I might want to join, I might want to become part of that organization. So I would just say to all of you, the more impressive you are, the better it is for the American Legion. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're just about ready to eat, so if everybody stand. Uncover, Chaplain.
Let us pray. God, Almighty Father, bless our food that we are about to consume. Bless each and every one here at this meal that we are sharing. Come, O God, and sit with us. Have your love to surround us. Help friendship from this mill to follow us, and bless all humanity forever and ever. Amen.
Recover. These training sessions, I just want to let everybody know, we've went over 800 Legion family members training with this training session here today. So give yourselves a round of applause there. We've been averaging about 1 to 1:30 we've been getting done. So hang in with us. After we get to finish eating, we should get done by between 1 and 1:30, okay? Thank you. All right. That was a great meal. Thank you, Post 14, for doing that. Awesome. That's a good Italian, I would say. That was a good spaghetti, huh? Yeah, it's Chinese noodles, right? Yes. Well, the Chinese invented it, but the Italians perfected it. All right. Get our doors secured. Next part, we're going to be on page 28, Protocol and Parliamentary Procedures. Shorty, Bill Hobner.
Good afternoon. Everybody have a good lunch? Okay, I'm going to talk about protocol and parliamentary procedure. Say, for instance, you want to have the department commander at a function at your post. When you find out that the date that you're going to have it, you want to send a letter or notify department as soon as possible. That way, they can put it into his agenda. And when you do send in a request for the commander to be at your post, it should include the time, the place, the event, if it's an installation or if it's a dinner, and if there will be a sit-down dinner or a meeting. It should also include if there's going to be auxiliary and non-Legion dignitaries there. If it's a Legion function, officers are introduced in the way they were installed, starting with the Sergeant at Arms, the service officer, historian, so forth and so on, up into the commander. If you have the NEC or the NECA present at this meeting, they are introduced right before the commander. The commander is the last individual to be announced. Okay, parliamentary procedure. People say, what is parliamentary procedure? All officers should be familiar with it. And they say, well, how are you going to be familiar with it? The guidelines are set forth in your Constitution and bylaws. There you go, Constitution and bylaws. It gives a step-by-step procedure for conducting a meeting. And it also helps the commander in setting the pace for the meeting that you're having. And you can find these in the Officer's Guide and Ceremonies under Section 4 of the appendix. Commander?
Okay. Thank you, Shorty.
Welcome.
All right, we're on page 26, how to run a meeting. First off, we went over the agenda earlier. Okay, the agenda on what you're going to put in the meeting. Okay, that don't just happen to appear. Okay, you got to work days and if not weeks on creating that agenda with the unfinished business, the new business, on what committees you're going to call on. But the day of the meeting, well, remember I said prior to that, earlier, about a week or so before the meeting, you want to call on the committee chairman that you're going to call on at that meeting. So this way they know what you want to report from them. Okay, and if they're not going to be able to be there, maybe one of their assistants in that committee will be there to give that the report, or they could provide you a hard copy report, and you could give that report to the membership. To run a meeting, you should have a pre-meeting with your sergeant at arms, your adjutant, and your chaplain at the minimum. Those three right there. One, to make sure the agenda is all done with the adjutant. Okay? The chaplain, if you're doing a post-everlasting or draping of the charter ceremony during their meeting. If your post does a draping of the charter, if everybody passes away from in between meetings, you want to have a pre-meeting this way you know. So the sergeant at arms is on the ball with that too, because that's the person who drapes the charter. Also, if you know you have a list of visitors that you're expecting, so the sergeant at arms is aware of those visitors coming into the post. So each time a visitor comes in, the sergeant at arms, okay, well, you're not a veteran. This is how I'm going to escort. The sergeant at arms could brief that person how they're going to escort that person up to the podium. So the sergeant at arms would do that and everything. And when each person checks in, the sergeant at arms should let the commander know that so and so just checked in. And then when all of a sudden your district commander shows up and it wasn't on the list that the sergeant at arms had, the sergeant at arms could go up to the commander and say, hey, you must have messed up. The district commander's here for you, and everything's going to be here at the meeting. No, I'm just kidding. But district commander's there to help out and everything. And the district commander and the area commander is going to pop in every once in a while. Eunice will be doing that. Oh, you messed up. That's why I'm here. But so you need to have a pre-meeting so everybody is on the same sheet of music when you get into that meeting, and the other person is knowing what you're thinking about and everything. And it all depends on the size of your post, on how far before the meeting you're going to have that meeting. I know some posts that they do an executive board meeting prior to their meeting and everything, so you're going to have it earlier than the executive board meeting. Okay, I think I covered everything in there. On how to run a meeting, the agenda, we're going to skip over those 2 pages and go to page 29 because we went through the agenda in the addendum. Okay, and I'm going to turn it over to Northern Area Commander for complaints and investigation procedures.
Afternoon, Legionnaires and Legionnaire family. How y'all doing? Good. Wake you up a little bit. Complaints investigation procedure, page 29. Often, conflicts of personality or different opinions on management styles will result in conflicts within the posts. In most cases, it involves the lounge or financial concerns and other issues involving post operations. These matters should be resolved at post leadership whenever possible. What happens if the post leadership's a problem? If you need to go to district commander, the district commander is unable to easily resolve the nature and further investigations is recommended, a member of the post must submit a letter to the department commander to provide detailed outline of the concern, violations of national, department, and our post bylaws, actions already taken, if possible, and a current paid member will sign the letter. Once received, the department commander will review the request and determine if an investigation is warranted. Got real quiet. Basically what happens is the commander's going to get complaints all year long. Have the person outline, give details, and sign it. It's no good if you don't sign it. The department commander will then determine if it needs to be investigated or returned back to the post or district commander. There's actually on page 30, there's a post-level complaint and investigation procedures. It basically gives you details, yes, no, and everything on how the investigation procedure goes. On page 31, trials and appeals. Members or post officers may be reprimanded, suspended, or expelled from the American Legion only upon proper showing of cause. Charges shall be based upon disloyalty, neglect of duty, dishonesty, and conduct unbecoming a member of the American Legion. Charges must be made under oath in writing by the accusers, and no member or officer shall lose a membership or office until given a fair trial. Important to remember that installed post officers cannot be removed from their position unless they found guilty through a fair trial or resign their office. Has any post here have gone through a trial before? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I was police. Maybe I was speaking to the audience that already knows everything. But basically, you cannot remove a person unless they're found guilty. There is a set on bottom half of page 31, rules governing trials from 31, 32, 33, and top of 34. Okay, on 32, just remember, the judge advocate is convening authority that shall preside over the trial. Not the post commander, not somebody appointed, the judge advocate. In the event the judge advocate or the convening authority is unable to preside at the trial, the commanding officer shall notify, the department commander shall notify of said inability, and the department commander will then appoint a judge advocate from outside that physical jurisdiction of the American Legion Department of Florida. Basically, if the judge advocate can't do it at that post, the department commander will assign somebody to take care of it as a judge advocate. Let's go on page 34, rules governing appeals. Very first sentence, any appeal taken from a trial held within the jurisdiction of the American Legion Department of Florida shall be governed by these rules. You got the rest of 34 and top of 35. You got any questions so far about the trials and appeals?
Can a person be removed from office for non-attendance?
No,
Yeah.
they can't. It's in their bylaws.
Yeah, in your Constitution and bylaws, if it states that you miss 3 or more, I think 3 is the acceptable answer, 3 meetings, it has to be in your Constitution and bylaws, though. If it's not in your Constitution and bylaws, then it shouldn't be that. Okay, in the Department of Florida, a department officer could be removed if they're 60 days or more out of the state of Florida. Okay, so yes, it could be in there. All right.
Post property. How many owns a post home? Oh, you got about 7 or 8 posts here. Okay, good. This is the same question I asked every meeting we had so far. What happens if you pull it up in front of your post, like right now, and there's a sign out front, future home of McDonald's or Burger King or some other company? Hooters, okay. You laugh. I did this in the 3rd District. They said it happened right there at that same post we were at. Members drove up, and it was sold. Now think about that. Okay. One of the requirements set forth by the Department of Constitution that every post in the state of Florida must attain written consent from the department commander for selling or disposing of any real estate. Why? Because it has happened. It took, what, $80,000 to get that place back?
At least, yeah, I think
$100,000? $100,000 to get that post back. I don't know how many posts can afford $100,000 to be thrown away. Of course, they didn't have any money because it was sold. follow the money trail, well, that much we can do. Black 'em. Okay, now, what happens? If the department commander gets a letter saying that they're ready to sell the post property, as real property, what's going to happen is basically they're going to contact all the members of that post to verify that it's okay. So, if a post is financially unable to contact each member through a variable correspondence, the department will assist in contacting the post members. Each post will be provided to the American Legion Department, Florida, with the minutes from the meeting on which the post membership voted to sell the property and written acknowledgement of the foregoing. This is protect you. This is protect you from having somebody come in and sell your posts.
Yes.
I'm not quite understanding this, okay? If let's say, for argument's sake, the post is going down, going into they decided that they wanted to sell it. Now, they would notify the department, and the department would verify that everybody was notified that they wanted to sell it. Are you saying that they have to agree that they want to sell it?
Yeah, let me explain the process, the way the process goes. If a post wants to sell their property, whether it's a lot or a building, you want to sell a lot that you had for years, and you want to you thought about building on it, but you didn't build on it, and you want to get rid of the lot and everything. You have to, at a post level, you have to notify every single member by certified mail, and that costs a lot of money at your post, certified mail. If you're unable to do it financially, department will take care of that, okay, and making sure that every member is notified, okay, by mail or phone, okay, and at your post. That's a member of your post in good standing, and it has to be within 30 days of a vote of all your members going to be there at that meeting to take a vote that's saying that they're going to be selling it. At that time, then you would send a letter to department. Okay, first, if you didn't have that meeting, if you did your certified and everything like that, if department did it for you, then we already know about it and stuff. So then that's the process right there. We have to know about it because it's not just one person's place. It's the veterans' place. It's the Legionnaires in the whole state.
We have a membership of 100 people. We send out let's say that there was 20 at the meeting that said sell, and you send out to the other 80.
No, it goes the other way around. You got to send a letter out to all 100 that you're going to have a meeting on this date.
To sell.
Correct, and if only 20 shows up, those are the ones that have the word. I only have a say-so. The other 80 didn't show up, didn't have no interest. Okay, so you have to have the meeting after you send the letter, at least 30 days or more.
20 that showed up that voted, okay? They all have to agree.
Yeah, I think it's 75%, Jerry? Yeah, majority, so 51%. Okay, majority, and before it's sold, though, it still has to go through the department to let us know that the process. Sure. Every property, yes. And that's for us to release the lien on the property of your post, because the department has a lien on every post. So this way, it don't get sold in front of you, and you don't come out and there's a McDonald's sign, Future Home and McDonald's anymore, and everything, okay? All right.
Okay, does that answer your question? Basically, it is a majority, but there has to be a meeting with everybody there. Yes, sir.
The funds from the sale, as I understand under 501c, is a nonprofit charitable organization. So the funds have to be distributed to charities.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't be divided among the members.
No. Yes, sir.
Distribution of funds
only comes when the corporation is dissolved in the state
Right.
of Florida. So if you sell property, real property, that's just income. So as you indicated, that could go into the general fund or a special fund. No distribution.
Yeah, you don't have to get rid of the money. You hold on to the money at the post level. You might turn around and buy another piece of property. Okay? But you cannot give it to the membership, say, okay, here's your 10%, here's your 10%, Can't do that.
The accountant make sure it gets
Right.
properly noted.
And don't the department, or shouldn't the Department of Florida have something to make sure that that money doesn't go south? In other words, when that money comes in, let's say it's $100,000, okay? Shouldn't there be something before that, when you give up that lien, that we...
Yeah, the post is going to have to come up with a plan of what's going to happen with that money.
Shouldn't that be
Yeah, that's in the Constitution and bylaws.
some kind of a, not in the post office?
No, it's in the department's Constitution and bylaws, and then it'll be in the letter sent to the post and everything.
They should have
So,
some kind of...
yeah. So, hopefully none of you going out there just going to start selling your post there and everything. If you don't want your post, let us know. We'll come in and take it over. Okay?
Okay, any additional questions? Okay, continue on page 36. There's the documents and certificates that are needed at each post level. Every post, I hope, is incorporated, as previously mentioned. Charters. How many charters are there? You got a temporary charter, you got your regular charter, you got a supplementary charter, 3 charters. Supplementary charter is once you change when the post comes incorporated, you're going to change the name a little bit, and that's where the supplementary charter comes in at. Basically, you have a charter, you got a temporary charter, you don't have a home, you're just starting out. You got a charter, when you finally get past the temporary stage, you got a post, but maybe no home. Then you get incorporated when you buy a building, you want to get in there, you want to incorporate yourself for safety, for everything else. That's when you get a third charter or supplementary charter. Okay, tax forms. This is a good one. How many people are doing 990s? How many people are not doing 990s? Okay, good. That's a serious question. Ask Bob. Please do your taxes. Employer identification number, EIN numbers, or his tax stamp status, you are using them, right? When you go for post purchases and stuff, get your taxes taken off? Yes, sir.
Also on here, I don't know if anybody else knows this, but on the 990, there's a little number there that's your group number. Make sure you're on there, because if not, they spit them out, and then the IRS pays you a visit. Whether you're legal or no, it doesn't matter. They just, any of these ones that don't have a number on get spit out. The IRS picks so many of them up, and then they go out and they audit you. All that numbers on there, they generally don't.
Okay, that's good to know. And everybody knows how well IRS is working these days, right? Okay. Just want to make sure everybody's aware of the IRS that's out there. Okay. There's other forms you need to use. Post-Constitution and bylaws. As mentioned earlier, you renew them every 3 years. Biggest reason you're renewing them is we're in a communication age. Everything's electronic. We got the information right there in front of us going on computer. Well, Congress, being Congress, likes to change it. So you have no excuse because they might be changing the information every year. Please keep it up to date. If you have no idea, send it to the department and let them review it. They can verify it. Of course, if your post serves alcohol, if anybody has a lounge here, make sure that your employees are covered. 1099s, W-2s, make sure that they get all the information, all the forms into your post, keep you above board. DD 214s. Now, We've been up and down with DD-214s over the last few years. A few years ago was get rid of them. Then they come back and say keep them. Okay, if you do keep DD-214s, make sure you black out all the social security numbers, serial numbers, anything that does not, is personal pertaining to that person. Okay? Keep it in a locked box, in a locked room. Double lock it. If you do not have DD-214s, what's going to happen is if, say, the IRS comes in and say, okay, I want to see your DD-214s. If you don't have DD-214s, and if you did not keep the form where they sign up to become a member, because that's all you need is that little form. This here, well, actually, this part. You keep that. If you kept that form, you're covered. That's proof that's saying that that person signed saying that I'm eligible to be a member. You don't have to keep the DD-214s if you keep this. A little bit smaller, and all it has on there is the person's name and possibility up there, email address and stuff like that. So, if you have that form, same thing as DD-214, keep that. If they do come in and you don't have either one, they normally give you 30 days. That's when you reach out to the membership, gather as much as possible, bring them back in. It's what, 70%? 75% of the members that you have, that's what the IRS is going to look at. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, with the modern technology, with those little scanners and stuff like that, if you scan it and put it on your memory stick that you receive, we could have a file on that with their little registration and then their DD-214, and you can start filing it that way.
You could do that.
You don't have to have it in a lockbox. You just lock up that memory stick. Yes or no?
Got it.
No. Okay, you don't want to get into electronically digitalizing someone's DD-214. Okay?
So the answer is
no. No, you don't want to do that. Because then your whole post, your whole Wi-Fi is going to have to be lockboxed and everything.
Well, that's why I say you put it in the memory stick.
No. No, I wouldn't not get into that on the DD-214s. Another thing that the IRS, when they went in Round Rock, Texas last year and find that one post, the one problem was with the post, they were fighting the IRS. They weren't being cooperative with them. So the agent said, okay, let me see every single DD-214 you got here, and you got X amount of dollars per day fine until you see them all, okay? And that was because the post wasn't, they were just doing a quick audit to come in there, and the post wasn't being cooperative with them, okay? And if you don't have that part of the application, just make sure the roster that you have with the National is up to date on the war era. That's what makes them eligible to be in the American Legion. So the war era needs to be in there. There's quite a few probably in your post that don't have a war era. Okay, make sure you get that war era in there and everything, because that'll save you time if the IRS comes in and does audit you. I'm not saying they're going to come in. That happened last year and it hasn't happened, I don't think, again. Okay, so yes, you had a question back there?
On the DD-214, I found a lot of my veterans come in and they can't find the DD-214, they need another one. From what I've been told, if you just black out everything but the last 4 digits, because that's supposed to be what you use. If they take that to like the VA or something like that, they can use it because everything goes by your last 4 digits now, not your whole social security number. So if you black out the first 5 and leave the last 4, even though you've got them locked up, that veteran needs to have a copy of his DD-214. He can come in, then he can turn it into the VA.
Yeah, if you have the DD-214 on file, the Social Security number should be blocked out. You could leave the last 4 on there, but the Social Security number should be blacked out on there. That's correct, and everything. Yes.
As far as having that little news card, how about transfers in? Does that not also count as good as the DD-214 because it's being going
No,
to
because
the
you don't have
department or
Well,
what he wants?
what it is on transfers, you as a incoming post, whatever it states in your Constitution and bylaws, you should do. But you are still required to make sure that person is still eligible.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
on the transfer form, they don't have the war era.
Yeah, you just need to make sure when you look at your rosters, when you have your adjutants look at the roster, and they can make that change right into mylegion.org on everybody, okay? And they don't have a war error. You can call the person up, get a hold of them, get the war error, and correct the war error in there. That's it. I think you were done, right?
Yeah.
Sal? Yeah.
You're going by those little papers, and he signs the thing, he may not even be a veteran.
That's true.
Sign the thing. And you're gonna give that to the IRS? Like in all polls.
Who's going to give what to the IRS? No, you're not going to give nothing.
I'm just saying, if you got challenged, you're gonna use that as verification, because it's got a.
We're talking in a hypothetical situation that may never happen. Okay?
Okay, but let me,
In our post, we don't allow members to grant.
no,
You do what you need to do with your post.
okay, again, if your bylaws say that you need to see a copy, you can see a copy. But you can give the copy right back to them, as long as you get that form. You give the DD 214, look at it, okay, great, you're in, here's your DD 214 back, but I need that copy saying that you are a member. That's all. Wouldn't that be easier? Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, Commander?
All right. Okay, we're on page 40. A lot of this stuff Steve already talked about and touched on when he talked on the membership. Someone had pulled me aside earlier, talked about eligibility years and everything. Every organization, every veteran service organization is its own identity, and we got our charter through Congress. Okay, so our years are basically assigned by Congress. We petition Congress every once in a while to get the years changed. There is a resolution going up to national this year providing almost just about every single date with the Cold War. It's been going up every year to national and everything, to try to change the dates. This one is about 8 pages long, this resolution, and if it passes the general membership at the national convention, then we'll push it through Congress to try to get them to change our charter. So the thing is, it makes us unique as a wartime service organization by having just war dates. It makes the VFW unique by you have to have a campaign medal or certain medals to be a VFW member. And the AMVETS is just an honorably discharged veteran and everything. So everybody has their own different qualifications, and all of that is by Congress and everything. Okay. I'm going to get into page 45. Second vice. What do you do with them?
Hi there. Good afternoon now. Okay, this is a real quickie, to be quite honest. Resolutions and, resources. Everything's really self-explanatory there. On page 45, it does have a pertinent website, and then on page 46, halfway down, it does have another pertinent website. The column on the right-hand side on page 45, halfway down, it shows the DD 214, which is probably the most important piece of paper as far as we're concerned in the American Legion. Outside of that, I only have one other thing to say, and I'm going to turn my back on you for just a second, because when the gavel goes down at the end of this session, if I could have the commander or a representative of each post please come up to the table. I have the donation cans for breast cancer awareness for your bars, and I would like to give each post 2 of these. So like I said, when the gavel goes down, if you could please come up, a representative, and I'll just get your name. I don't need the name. I just need the post number, and I'll give each of you 2 of these. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody for listening to me today, and everybody have a super weekend. Thank you.
All right. You stopped at 44. Okay, resources. You already did it? That sounds good to me. There you go, good. Page 46, post locator. We already talked about that, but how many here have a smartphone, iPad? Raise your hand. Okay, where it says post locator, what's that black box there? What is that called? A quick reference box. And you scan it to your phone and boom. And it goes in there and it gives you that application. So if you're on the road, you got an iPhone, iPad, click that there. I got it on my iPad for post locator. So I'm on the road somewhere, boom, I hit it. What post am I near to? And it gives me all that information. On the bottom one, that's for national. Okay, that's mylegion.org. Same thing if you go into national. On page 47, that quick barcode there is for the Legion Riders. Okay, it goes into the Legion Rider, all the chapters and everything, and the legacy run is coming up. All that good stuff is in there. Contact information, contact department. It has all the information there. When you do your correspondence, you always send it to the P.O. box, okay? Always to the P.O. box. If you send it to the address, that's the physical building itself. So if you want to drive, that's the 1912A building right there. But every correspondence goes to the P.O. box. It has a 1-800 number. What is unique about that 1-800 number? It's very easy. It only works in Florida. Only works in Florida. But there you go. I have the auxiliaries phone number and their secretary. So if you need to contact the auxiliary, there you go. National headquarters information it has there. Okay. And programs. We'll move into programs real quick. Legion Riders is a program.
You want me to get on those riders?
Okay.
And I'll turn it over to you after I finish these two, okay?
Okay, good.
All right. On the riders, how many here is a Legion Rider? All right. Here's the end of year reports on the riders. Last year, with 70% of the chapters submitting, they drove 1.8 million miles last year on the roads. They raised over $500,000, almost 180,000 hours volunteered. In the Florida In-State Legacy Run, they collected over $20,000 on the In-State Legacy Run, with another $33,000 plus collected for the convention. They supported 240 Legion programs and 473 community programs in their communities. The Legion Riders, a little over 100 chapters now, is over 4,000 members strong, 1,900 which are Legionnaires, 800 which are auxiliary, and 600 and more is Sons of the American Legion. They've done a heck of a job this last year, and they're growing and growing and growing. On the Sons of the American Legion, last year, 2013-14, another all-time high in membership, with 16,003 members, or 102.48%. Awesome. The donations to various programs: Florida Special Olympics, $54,755. Children's Miracle Network, $20,800. Child Welfare Foundation, $25,962. Florida Children and Youth Fund, over $13,000. All Children's Hospital, over $18,000. NEF, $6,000. VA&R, $42,660. Donations contributed to your American Legion posts throughout the state of Florida, $184,782, right back to the post. Various other programs, almost $330,000, with total dollar contributions of $702,675. Outstanding job. And they also participated in their community over almost 71,000 hours another 15,000 hours in our VA&R hospitals, and for a total of man hours throughout the state of 201,303 hours. Just remember, as a post commanders that are out there, the Sons of the American Legion and the Legion Riders are a program. Take a vested interest in it, okay? Because it's a program of yours, okay? You should attend the Sons of the American Legion meetings of your post. If you're not attending, maybe your vice commander should attend it, okay? But you should attend every other month at least. And the same thing with the Riders. The Riders is a program. The program does not exist without the post, okay? Had a problem at one of the posts here recently. Well, everybody's quitting on the Legion side. They all want to be Sons of the American Legion officer or a Legion Riders officer. Well, guess what? Those are programs. They don't exist without the American Legion. So we had to go in there, threaten with a close of charter paperwork and say, give me the keys to the building and stuff, but until they jump up and take over positions of the Riders, of the Legion. You can't be just one and not the other and everything. You got to remember, what I always say is, don't forget where you come from, okay? Don't forget where you come from. So take care of the programs. There are 2 programs. Make sure you take care of them. All right, Jim?
Okay. Did you discuss the auxiliary?
Nope.
Okay, you left me that one for me. That's fine.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Yep. Very simple. If the Legion was to close, I'm going to say post 14, the Legion says, okay, we're gone, we're turning in our charter. Guess what? The auxiliary will continue to maintain. Okay? But they become a whittle unit. Okay? A whittle unit. That means they cannot get membership. Okay? And this goes back to history, 1919. Okay? Normally, how can you produce? Not nowadays, back in 1919. How can you produce? Husband and wife, correct? And, okay, so guess what? When the Legion is around and the auxiliary is around, they could prosper, they could get members. But when the Legion is gone and that unit becomes a whittle unit, they cannot get membership. That's the only thing they cannot do. Well, they won't die. You have a minimum of members that you have to carry. When you go close to that minimum, that's when you request to the Department of Florida, the auxiliary, we need to kind of open for a year, 6 months, whatever, and they will grant that for you to get membership, okay? So they're a separate, complete organization. But guess what? It makes part of the family, don't it? So that means we need to work together, okay? Now, talking about history, I forgot something when I told you about the cap. What did I forget?
Put it on the table.
All right, there you go. When we go to lunch or everything, which side do we face up? Emblem up. Emblem up, okay? Emblem up. And I'm glad there was a few Legionnaires that, and I forgot it. Well, that's part of my history thing, but I'm glad they reminded me, and it's good. When you get new members, that's something you want to pass along, okay? Good. Now we're on page 48, Americanism. Americanism is an easy program to do. You have a lot of different things under Americanism, okay? Oratorical, flag, ceremony of disposing of the flag, the whole 9 yards. Flag Day is June 14th. You know, different programs that you could do. All it is what? Patriotic. Anything that's patriotic falls under Americanism. It's simple as that, okay? Baseball. How are we doing on baseball?
We lost last night, so we're out of the World Series.
Oh, we lost last night. Post 88 from Jacksonville was in the tournament, and they lost last night, and they got eliminated. So
They made it to the World Series, though. They won the Southeastern Final.
yeah, Southwestern region. They so yeah. Blood donor. if you've been overseas, you know, when you go give blood, they tell you, like me, I was in Germany from 82 to 84. I can't give them no blood. I didn't know they had mad cow when I was there. Hey, I didn't know that, but I gave blood when I was there, and I came back and I went to give blood, and they asked me that question, oh, you can't give blood. And I says, wait a minute, what do you mean I can't give blood? I just gave blood, you know, a couple of years ago. And they said, well, no, you've been to Germany, you can't give blood. But it's an easy program. It's one of those programs, you're doing an open house, you're doing some type of event at your post, go to your local blood bank, Life South, and say, hey, we need a bus. And they do all the work, you know. Boy Scouts, our first program of the American Legion, started back in 1919. If you have a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, Adventure Scouts, hey, they all work and do good things for the Legion. Just put them to work. Give them something to do. Boy State, we know that's a good program. I already talked about the dates that need to be coming up. Children and Youth, we got the Children and Youth chairman here. A lot of good things happen. There are 27 programs under the Children and Youth. Let's talk about briefly one that's coming up in October. What's coming up in October, the 31st? Halloween, there you go. We got Halloween safety, Halloween coloring books. We got all kinds of information, okay? Employment. The post should be working on some type of employment for our veterans. We have, at the department level, we have an employment chairman. He's going to all the fairs, job fairs in the state and stuff. And at the same time, boom, 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 we get it all done. The post should be doing something like that too, all right? Flag education, patriotism, again, June 14th. The schools love that, especially the elementary schools. Get out to vote next year. We are what? There you go, there you go. So we don't care if you want some politician to come and speak, or if they rent the hall, just make sure you put a sign out there. It's rent for them, not, we don't support this guy or whatever, or this lady, depending on who it is. We don't support them, they just rented the hall, okay? Because a lot of politicians, even right now, I went this beginning of the month to one that was giving away $250 to veterans organizations. But what he wanted to do is take pictures. Okay? Because what? Yeah, he's stepping out of office, but he's going to another office which he ain't telling anyone. And all you have to do is do what? Read the newspaper. Okay? So if you do have politicians come in and talk to your post members, okay, invite all of them. And when you take pictures, take your cap off. So that way they can't say, we were at the American Legion Post 14 and look at all these veterans supporting me. No. They were hearing you. Okay? They're not supporting you. Okay?
$250 to come in to get a picture taken.
Yep. Junior ROTC. Those are medals, different types of awards that you could give. Okay? Homeless veterans. Our homeless veteran guy is Gunner, our 2013 commander. He's done wonderful things. If you need to know more information, just go to the website. Okay? Now, everybody's talking about 501c, but there's a number that goes with that. There you go, 19, which means we are a veterans club. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you. Everybody knows about Project Homefront, right? I was promoting it. I was going out there telling you all kinds of good things. Well, guess what? Project Homefront is no more. Okay? What is the new thing? Project Vet Relief. Project Vet Relief. In November, fall conference, it will be the big bang. It's coming out. We want everybody to to come over, get some information, and start working with it, okay? We're not creating the wheel. What it is a 501c3. It could actually solicit, okay? It's soliciting for the Good Quest Fund right now, for our FTA, and to support our veterans programs. That's what we're going to solicit for, okay? Everything's on the roll. You will get more information at the fall conference, and hopefully you'll bring that back. That's going to be a big push, a big help for our veterans. Constitution and bylaws, I think we did that to death. Just remember to update, change. The changes don't take effect until you get the bylaws from department saying they're good. Okay? So you have to continue with your old bylaws until you get the new ones from the department. Legislative, stay on top of that. We want to make sure that we are actively engaged on what's going on in the news, what's going on with the VA system, what's going on overseas, what's going on with our troops. Okay? National security. If it wasn't for World War I and our national security, we would not be here today. Correct? All right? But we're here today, and we have to make sure, and notice every time Congress wants to cut the budget, where do they go? National security. Okay? Yes, we do have the biggest budget, but we are living in this country free men and women. Correct? And we want to stay that way. All right? So support that. Operation Comfort Warrior is our Legion Comfort Warrior that we spend. Every penny, dime, dollar that goes into that fund, 100% of that proceeds go to Comfort Warrior. That goes to Germany. What's the name of the base? Landstuhl. Okay? All of our injured people go there. They normally go with nothing. Okay? And we give them comfort items to support them in the transition back to the States. Okay? Oratorical. As soon as you get to the high schools, you need to be talking about oratorical and boy state or girl state, depending on the auxiliary. 2 programs that have money. And you have to let them know. A lot of people right now, especially in this economy, is very hard. Those are 2 money makers for the students right there. Public relations. What are we doing today after this meeting? Where are we going? Us, over here. Baseball game. There you go. Get the word out. Get your posts out. Get on Facebook. We got a chairman who's trying to get every post to have a Facebook page to get the word out there, and be a friend. I'm on Facebook. You saw me take pictures, correct? As soon as I took those pictures, sat down here, guess what? I posted them on Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see all those pictures that I took. All right? Guess what? I'm not in none of those pictures. Because why? I'm the one taking the pictures. That's good.
Do a selfie.
A selfie. School scholarships, okay? We normally have aid and stuff for those. School medals from elementary all the way to high school, and then junior college and college. There are different medals. Make sure you use appropriate medals for those. Shooting sports. Loretta Young does a very good job. And go to the website. Sons of the American Legion already, Jay Conte already talked about their a program of us, need to stay abreast. TFA, Temporary Finance Assistance. That is a national program, but guess what? Our membership dues actually pays for that program, okay? What do you have to have? Well, you have to have a veteran, and you have to have a child under the age of 18. Okay, and right there on page 54, it tells you the 4 requirements there. You have to fill out an application. Somebody in the post is going to have to do the application, send it into the department. Cliff is going to make sure you check everything correctly. He might be calling whoever did the form to make sure it's okay. As soon as it's okay, you go to the national. We have a good turnaround time. Everything that we send to national within a 24-hour time period is turned back to us with a check. So that's a good program. Now, you have to have a son or daughter, correct? A child under 18 in your household. How many of you have heard of the Gilchrist Fund? Raise your hand. Okay. That is our program for veterans who don't have children. Okay? And it's the same requirements, believe it or not. And it's almost the same application. And that program is going to come under Project Vet Relief. And that's where the money's going to come from right there, okay? Volunteers, I thank all of you. Just like Jay Conti said at the beginning, thank you for coming. We are all volunteers. We don't get paid. You paid to come to this training. You paid to come here. Hopefully this information that you grab will go out to you. But where do we need our volunteers at? At the VA hospitals, at the VA clinics. That's where we need more of the volunteers to go. Please kind of look into that and find out where you're at. Okay, on page 55, important dates. I'm only going to talk about 2 dates real quick. That's September. Okay, September's around the corner. If you haven't planned anything for September, oh, you're in bad shape. We already know the 3rd Friday of September is what day? There you go. What's September 11th? Patriots Day, okay? Early Bird. National Preparedness Month for National. See, there's a lot of stuff goes in there, okay? September 16th is what day?
Legion Day.
Legion Day, all right. So you got a lot of stuff that goes in that month, so you have to be planning. Hopefully you got something planned. In October, I already told you about Halloween and stuff like that. When you plan something, get the public involved. PR yourself. Make sure you get out the word out there and do some things or the programs that you normally do. Get the word out, and you might, what we're here for, membership. You will get membership. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Hey, I took a picture of Jim and put him on Facebook. And I want to apologize to our assistant adjutant here, Jerry Mullinex. I didn't introduce him earlier and everything. Jerry, want to come on up here?
Oh, wait, I'm going to do something first.
Selfie.
Not a selfie. I wanted to get the shot from the podium out there. That'll be on Facebook, too. How's everybody doing today? Good. A couple things. One, this is being filmed for posterity. This will be available online. Hopefully next week I'll have time to edit it and get it up there, and I'll send a link out to everybody. Put it up on Facebook, of course. The other thing I want to let you know about is our mobile app. I started creating a mobile app at the end of last year, and it's really come along well, and it is now a very useful tool. Who in here has heard of the Florida American Legion app? Wow, more than I thought. That's good. If you go to floridalegion.org with any mobile device, whether it's your phone, tablet, whatever the case may be, and if it takes you to the splash screen where it has, okay, it is in there, good. I couldn't remember if I put it in there or not. But if you hit that splash screen and it says members over here and non-members over here, click on non-members and it'll bring up the option to bring up the mobile app straight to your device. Just wanted to hit on a couple key things that have been added over time. One of the things that's great is you can sign people up online straight through the app. So if you have a friend that wants to join the Legion, it's like, no problem. Hit a button and just go through the online store. You can also renew, donate. You can actually request assistance straight from the app, whether it be a TFA request, Gilchrist request, even a request for more information, claims assistance, things like that. All the resources, whether it be links to other sites or the manuals, every manual that they're talking about today is going to be available through this app. So you can just bring it up real easy. Also, if you're not as comfortable with Facebook as others, you can actually access excuse me, all the news and information that we put on Facebook through the app without having to go on Facebook. So it's kind of a nice little workaround. There's also a lot of photos up there. All these photos we're taking will be on there. Videos.
Mafia video.
The Mafia video, if you haven't seen it yet, it's up there on the app and on Facebook. This will be on the app. publications, if you're looking for a resolution form or our Constitution and bylaws, anything you can think of, it's on the app. Also, direct link to the store, calendar, direct links to contact us, you name it, it's in there. If you are playing with it and you have an idea, send it to me. I'd be happy to work on it, always trying to improve it and make things better. Same thing with the website. If you're on the website and you see anything that might be wrong, or if you have any recommendations to do something a little bit better, let us know. We're currently revamping that website to make it even easier to access, kind of like the app is. So just want to let you know about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, what do you guys think? Have a good training? All right. We're going to be pulling tickets here in a little bit. Everybody has a blue ticket. We'll save it after the meeting. The critique sheets, if you could fill them out, and the Sergeant at Arms after the meeting will be coming over to pick them up. And we're going to be doing a drawing on the TV. If you put your email address down on that sign-in sheet, your email address is going to go on a box and a name, and we're going to be pulling. Someone's going to win that TV out of the 8 training sessions and everything. Is there any further business come before this training session? No? Okay. All right. We've got a motion. Second. Any discussion? No discussion? Moved. Uncover. How you like that? Chaplain?
Let us pray. Dear God, Heavenly Father, as we go our separate ways, we ask you to help us and guide us through all the coming days. Be with us and safely lead us down the service road. We thank you for your loving care. It will help lighten the load. We thank you for your love that surpasses all understanding. Go with us as we part. See each one safely home and lighten every heart. Amen.
Amen. Sergeant at Arms, please retrieve the POWMIA flag. Recover. Until we meet again, let us remember our obligation to our country can be fulfilled only by the faithful performance of all duties of citizenship. Let service to the community, state, and nation be the ever main objective of the American Legion and its members. Let us be ever watchful of the honor of our country, our organization, and ourselves, and nothing shall swerve us from the path of justice, freedom, and democracy. With the colors of our country in place, hand salute. 2. I now declare this training session of the Central Area Department of Florida adjourned. Thank you.